Hello, everyone. Welcome to History with Hersaphat. I'm your host, Chris, aka Hersaphat. Today, we'll be starting our discussion of the decade that was the 2010s with the year 2010. The views shared on this podcast come from your everyday, ordinary people. My hope is that it'll give unique perspective on history. For future podcasts, going to be doing the year 2011. What's the deal with serial killers? Also, just in time for Halloween. And for those who listen to our podcast via Spotify, Apple, or Google, we also have a YouTube channel showcasing a number of top-notch videos highlighting some borderline funny moments from our podcast for your viewing pleasure. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Today with us to start off the decade, just like the way we left it, we have Brad and Nick. Hello.
Thank you.
Hi,
Thank
everybody.
you.
You're welcome. All right, we'll get straight into
Just thinking of people clapping. They didn't have to clap.
No, they didn't.
They didn't have to clap.
Very kind of them.
Yes.
For our weird news of the week, we have an article from the Associated Press from AP. This was, I was kind of struggling trying to find something. There was one where like apparently a manatee died through sex with his brother, I guess. I don't know.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just yeah. This one's titled "Poker Player Who Drew Donations for Las Vegas Event Lied About Dying from Cancer." A poker player who said he had terminal cancer and accepted thousands of dollars in donations so he could play in a World Series of Poker tournament in Las Vegas now admits it was all a lie. Rob Mercer told the Las Vegas Review-Journal he made up a stage 4 colon cancer diagnosis for his GoFundMe page in June, the newspaper reported Wednesday. Mercer of Vallejo, California, was trying to raise enough funds to meet the $10,000 buy-in for the No Limit Hold'em World Championship. He received contributions worth between $30,000 and $50,000, including a stay at a suite in the Bellagio. Even a fellow player from Arizona who suffers from chronic illness donated $2,500. I'm sorry for not being honest about what my situation was. If I would have done that from day one, who knows what would have happened, Mercer told the newspaper. However, the 37-year-old says he won't be refunding anyone because he believes he has undiagnosed breast cancer. He said he has he said he has been more or less banished from the poker community, and that is the article. Thoughts?
That's like a severe gambling problem right there.
The whole thought was a gamble. I think the whole idea from the GoFundMe, the whole thing. He's like, I'm just going to gamble. We'll see if anybody.
It's deplorable.
Yeah, it truly is.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's not refunding any of the money.
Right.
Yeah, I might have cancer. I don't know. I might need that money.
Right. Because he believes he has undiagnosed breast cancer. So it's not even like no doctors, but yeah, you might have something there. It's all of that. And he's keeping all of it. Oh my God. I mean, wow.
Yeah, what a piece of shit.
Right.
Jesus.
Glad we bring him up to the forefront so people, all
But
the thousands.
it does give me an idea, though.
What idea is that?
Oh, I wonder if I could pull off what he just did. Pretend I have cancer and get a bunch of money.
Be like a copycat degenerate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
Maybe
besides getting shunned from society?
Oh God. What would you say? What would your go-to? You wouldn't use colon cancer, I imagine, right?
No, I do prostate cancer.
Yeah, prostate. That sounds good.
Yeah, that seems plausible.
Absolutely. At your advanced stage, absolutely. Get that checked out.
My hospital bills are $150,000 so far,
and I want to gamble at Las Vegas before I do it. Before I die. Yeah, do something like that. Make it like a what do you call that? Make-A-Wish Foundation. You can is there like an age limit for Make-A-Wish? I mean, adults have wishes too. You would think,
Well, I just wish for all the money.
Well, I mean, the obvious one is like wishing for more wishes. Wouldn't those kids just do that? Wish
wouldn't
for
they
infinite wishes?
Well, that, and wouldn't they wish for the disease that they have to go away? Like, why don't they ever think of that?
That's true.
Well, that's the thing.
I mean,
Thoughts. You wish for more wishes. You use one of the wishes for that, but you got 3 in your back pocket. You can now go boom, boom, boom. There it is.
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
Of course,
kids are
after
just
the
stupid.
disease is cured, save that one for last. You have to, because if you do it right away, they're like, he's not even diseased anymore. Give us back our wishes. We, decline.
Oh, yeah. You got to do all the cool stuff, and then your final wish. Yeah, I don't have cancer anymore. Boom.
Right. Hold it hostage, essentially. This is a whole thought process. Let's get behind this. I'll get the paperwork. You guys take care of the rest.
Yep. And Chris, you also start a Patreon too.
Right.
And we'll get some money rolling in for my cancer.
Let's do it. All right. All right. Well, on that, we're going to jump right into the timeline portion of the podcast with the timeline of the year 2010.
This is going to be a tough play. The Cubs win the World Series.
The Occupy Wall Street movement is reaching a flashpoint.
There have been 2 explosions today at the Boston Marathon. 2 explosions near the finish line just a short while ago.
The Lannisters send their regards.
Court making same-sex legal.
Steve Jobs, the visionary founder and leader of Apple Computer, has died at the age of 56.
So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they raping everybody out here.
Thousands of women around the world spoke out against sexual harassment using just 2 words, Me Too.
Eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
President Trump has just been impeached on both Article 1, abuse of power, and on Article 2, obstruction of Congress.
And on January 12th, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake occurs in Haiti, devastating the nation's capital, Port-au-Prince. 316,000 people are confirmed to have lost their lives, making it one of the deadliest earthquakes in history. On the plus side, Haiti was able to temporarily suspend the routine toxic waste dumps on their shores. On February 12, 2010, the remake of the 1985 song We Are the World for victims of the 2010 Haiti earthquake debuts during the opening ceremonies of the 2010 Winter Olympics. Haiti President René Préval was handed a copy of the single. He responded by burying it along with the 316,000 victims. This music should never be heard by any human ears. We've already going through a tragedy. There's no need to add salt to the wound, Préval was quoted as saying. March 26, 2010, the ROKS Shannon? Yeah, let's go with that. A South Korean Navy ship carrying 104 personnel sinks off the country's west coast, killing 46. In May, an independent investigation blames North Korea, which denies the allegations, although they could not explain the brand new stock of aerial torpedoes. On April 3rd, 2010, the first iPad was released to rave reviews. Steve Jobs, Apple co-founder and perennial rocker of the black turtleneck and jeans, described the iPad as the most important technological advancement in human history, right behind child slave labor.
Man, I remember the iPad.
Yeah, I remember.
Well, when it first came out, people got them, and then they were taking them to like concerts to like record.
That's right.
So fucking obnoxious, just holding this tablet up in the air. Luckily nowadays, people just use their phones. They don't bring a fucking iPad to a concert.
Like bringing like a whole PC with a webcam.
Right.
yeah, basically.
I remember when the iPad was announced, released, and shown, I was just like, why would anybody want that? I just couldn't think. Like, I have a laptop. Why would I? Can you do everything? Where's the keyboard? Where's the mouse? Where's this? That's what I remember thinking. Like, where's the whole setup? What is this? It's just like a larger phone. We've gone bigger.
Yeah.
Gone like what phones first.
I thought the same thing. Yeah.
That's just, and I mean, I was wrong, obviously.
Right.
Obviously, but remember, that's my first thoughts about it.
It's so bizarre.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right. On May 28th, 2010, Gary Coleman dies at the age of 42 due to an epidermal hematoma caused by a fall in his home in Santa Quin, Utah. Coleman was a famous child actor, most notably known for his performance as Arnold Jackson on the TV show Different Strokes, which ran from 1978 to 1986. Coleman's catchphrase, "What you talking about, Willis?" became synonymous with the actor, leading him to his biggest role as a mall security guard in 1998. On June 6, 2010, the MTV VMAs are held at a Gibson Amphitheater in Universal City, California. Sandra Bullock would go on to win the coveted MTV Generational Award. During her speech, she spoke about her recent divorce and assured the crowd not to worry about her, as she had just agreed to do Speed 3 Cruise Control 2. The crowd grew restless. Blah, blah. On July 23rd, 2010, British Irish boy band One Direction is formed after a lengthy pact with Satan. The boy band would unleash terror on the unsuspecting public the next few years, resulting in the de-evolution of the human race.
So that's what started it. Okay. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of the end. Okay.
That was it. On August 10th, the World Health Organization declares the H1N1 influenza pandemic over, saying worldwide flu activity has returned to typical seasonal patterns. The world rejoiced and thanked the scientific community for their steadfast knowledge and the availability of vaccines to combat pandemics. On September 22nd, 2010, Anonymous initiates Operation Payback, a coordinated cyber attack on multiple corporations, law firms, and politicians over the banning of file-sharing websites such as LimeWire, Pirate Bay, and also the politicians and the financial institutions against WikiLeaks. In response, Lars Ulrich initiates Operation Sue Sean Parker 2.0, much to the chagrin of Metallica.
Man, is Anonymous still around? You don't hear much about them these days.
I don't think so. Maybe it's
bunch of heroes they are.
Yeah. They were littered throughout all of 2010. That was like just one of the many things they did that year. Also, I think it was Julian Assange, WikiLeaks. Is that right? I believe so. Whatever.
Yes.
They were huge. They were doing some crazy shit this year as well. Actually, speaking of that, on October 22nd, the Iraq War documents leak, being deemed the biggest U.S. government leak in history. WikiLeaks being responsible for revealing 391,832 documents concerning the 2003 Iraq War, which revealed approximately 60% of the Iraqi deaths were civilian casualties. When asked about these numbers, former President Dick Cheney claimed that he'd put George Bush in charge at that point, so it wasn't on him. On November 21st, 2010, Eurozone countries agreed to a rescue package for the Republic of Ireland from the European Financial Stability Facility in response to the country's financial crisis. In the package was a 6-month supply of Jameson, Guinness, potatoes, cabbage, shamrock cupcakes, and beef stew. On December 6th, the Hale-Bopp comet was found once again around 30.7 astronomical units away from the sun. Upon further inspection, a figure in the shape of a UFO was seen riding on the back of it. Amateur astronomers were stunned. And that will do it for the timeline of 2010. Yes.
I remember when an earthquake in Haiti happened, that there was a really bad joke about it. It was something like, what has 1 million arms and 1 million legs and is 3 feet tall? Haiti. Yeah. Pretty terrible.
Is that Gilbert Godfrey? Who?
Oh, I just saw it on the internet.
The internet?
It's probably on Reddit.
Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, you're all right. You're all right. It wasn't you.
But my apologies to the people of Haiti that are listening.
They're not there anymore.
They're not listening.
They still haven't recovered.
Nobody's listening.
No.
Now nobody's listening. Yeah. Everyone's disgusted.
Right. By weird news. We've certainly lost them now. So, yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Pausing in here. And this one's, without further ado, for our boy Aaron, we will now move to the movie section of the podcast with movies of 2010.
Now is not the time for fear. That comes later.
Sell me this fucking pen right here.
$1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool? You?
$1 billion.
That was perfect.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Take your hands off my lobby boy!
Chewie, we're home.
I am Groot!
Look at me, sure.
I'm the captain.
Why do you like him?
Because he gets on base.
Not quite my tempo.
Avengers!
Assemble.
And for the top 10 movies in terms of gross for the year 2010, start from the bottom like we do. Number 10 was the movie How to Train Your Dragon. Have you seen this movie?
No.
Have you seen?
Nope.
I've seen
Nope. I heard about it.
bits and pieces of it repeatedly because like it's a kid movie, and I see a lot, friends that have kids love this movie. Some of them get really into it. It was Jay Baruchel voices the kid.
That's
I don't
right.
think Jack Black is in it, but I just know Jay Baruchel, and that's about it. Supposedly, I hear it's pretty good, but I've had no reason to watch it. I'm just not like an animation guy like this. It's not like for me.
Right.
I'm not the demographic, I don't think. If I ever have kids or whatever, I'm sure I'd watch it, but
Probably.
I'll avoid it until then. Speaking of movies I'll avoid, number 9 was Shrek Forever After. Is this Shrek?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that like, I know there was Shrek 1, 2. There's Shrek the third, right? This has to be Shrek 4. And I wasn't aware that
Probably.
this many. I've never wanted to see it. The first Shrek was okay, and I've never had a reason. It's not up there for me in terms of movies I watch. Like I've seen it 3 times, and that's 2 times too many. Like it's
Yeah.
it's okay, but
I didn't like it.
I think my favorite part about the original Shrek was the like Hallelujah song that I heard for the first time ever. But it was Rufus Wainwright, I think, who did it.
Right.
Leonard Cohen and all that stuff, and then there was a Jeff Buckley version. So I liked that song. That was my favorite part of Shrek. And I can't fathom what the hell Shrek Forever After is about. I guarantee you, Brad has never seen this movie. Brad?
No.
There it is.
Well, it's a bad movie night movie.
We've got
if we can stomach it.
We can find a better bad movie.
There's no better bad movie.
Oh, let's see. Hold on. We've got 8 more. We got number 8. We've got Despicable Me. It was the 8th highest grossing movie of the year 2010. Despicable Me. I love Steve Carell. The illumination. I like the animation. I don't think it's bad. But it's just another. I don't know. It's just not for me. Like I saw previews for Despicable Me.
Very basic storytelling and not very in depth.
Right. It's not adult enough for me.
Right.
It's a more mature movie. I just do. It's just not my bag.
Yeah. It's boring.
Not to mention the fucking Minions.
Oh God. Yeah.
Remember the Minions?
The Minions. Remember the Minions.
Those fucking things.
Just like these weird, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was actually a Minion once
Wearing
for
overalls.
Yeah. But I don't know. It never appealed to me. Number 7 was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Pretty sure this is the one where Dobby dies at the end.
Right.
I wasn't aware.
Spoiler.
Right. So I posted that on the internet. That elf really bit the dust at the end. People were like, "Hello, I haven't seen it." Shit, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's not bad. Those were that was the end of the series. It was dark and gloomy. The whole thing was like everyone's dead. It's all shit. Let's try and power our way through this. Yeah. You guys ever watch that?
Well, yeah. I remember we actually watched it in theaters. Remember?
Was that you that I went with? I know it went with Mom and
right, and I was there as well.
Okay.
But basically the movie kind of really doesn't do it justice in a sense of like how great Dobby was and how important he was to the actual story and how great of a character he actually was. So like It's interesting, like if you watch the movie and his death happens, it's like not as like, it's more like who cares, because the movies themselves don't really give you much depth on Dobby when there's a lot of it to be had.
Yeah, that was kind of my feeling. Who cares? I was kind of like, all right. I mean, I liked him. He seemed like a nice little elf. Seemed kind of shy and like he'd been through some shit. Then he died, and I was kind of like, oh, that kind of sucks. But I don't know anything about it. I think it was the first Harry Potter movie I'd seen. I don't think I'd watched it.
Right.
Yeah.
You started with that one.
Yeah, I usually do that.
That's ridiculous.
My first Seinfeld episode was the finale. The first episode of Lost I ever watched was the finale. There's another show that came out this year I'll get to that. I'll talk about that later. I'm sorry.
The finale of Lost first?
Yeah, that was my first episode.
Crazy.
I guess I had the same comprehension as most everyone else who had watched the entire series. I was still in the same boat.
Yep.
Everyone's kind of like, "What the fuck was that about?" And I was like, "Yeah, what the fuck was that about?"
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Did you ever watch Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Bradley?
No, I've never seen any of those movies.
All right, there we go. Well, brace ourselves here. For number 6, we actually have a good movie. I know that you've seen it. I know that Nick's seen it, and I know that I've seen it. The 6th highest grossing movie of 2010, and the best movie of the 10 movies listed here was the movie Inception.
Nice.
There we go. So whoever wants to take the reins, lead us on the path of Inception. Tell us about your favorite scenes, something you did like, something you didn't like, something you laughed at.
Oh my god. I mean, I just remember I saw it in theaters. Like, I went with a group of friends, and this other guy who was an acquaintance of all of us. He was like this pill popping kind of addict guy.
Nice.
And he worked at the movie theater. So he's all like, "Yeah, I can get you guys all in for free. Yeah, no problem." And he goes up to like the clerk, and they're like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Hey, can we go see Inception?" Like, me and my friends, and they're just like, I don't know. Like, I don't think so. Like, because there were like a lot of us.
All right.
Like, I can't let all of you in for free. So I think I paid. I think a few other people paid. But, watching it for the first time, it just fucking blew my mind. The layers of dreams and how time gets stretched with every layer. Like, I don't know, favorite scenes are like 3 or 4 layers deep. And like they're like fighting in the snow at that compound. And then it goes back to them in the van, and it's like in slow motion.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like even slower when they're like on the plane in the real world.
Yeah. I've only seen that movie twice.
I need to watch it again, really. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, me too.
It's just a great spectacle, and Hans Zimmer's music, and
oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Nick, do you have any?
I think that the more modern movie that stands up to it, that's another Christopher Nolan, is Tenet. But I mean, we can get to that eventually, I'm sure. But yeah, Inception was fantastic. Like Brad was saying, the score is great, cinematography is great. I mean, the acting is great too. I think that the ending always stands out as something that everyone always remembers, as the top is just spinning, and you're not sure if he's still in reality or not.
Right.
If he's
that's
still dreaming.
That's the whole big thing, the big
Right.
ending where it's spinning. But it does start to wobble.
It does, yeah. Which it's so great because it really lets that open-endedness be exactly that.
Yeah.
Open-ended.
Because it's like, because any other time he spun it when he was in a dream, it like stayed stationary and it
Exactly.
didn't wobble.
Yeah.
But that time it did, which leads me to believe he was in the real world. But
Right.
you don't know for sure because it cuts out and that's it. So yeah, really fucking cool.
I mean, this is the first year, obviously this is 2010 here, but I'm curious if we could put like a mental note about that. Is that the best ending to any movie of the 2010s? I mean, because that ending sticks out to me. That's like the one thing that I remember about it, especially the cities folding within each other, like
yeah,
oh yeah,
and whatnot. That's all this crazy stuff going on. It's really cool, really visually awe-inspiring. But like you said, the top, that whole thing where it's like, I remember watching that and being like, oh, and then it ends, and I'm like, oh, that's neat. Okay. Then I go back and watch it. Was it falling? Is it? Is there any? You don't know. Yeah, and it's great. It just leaves it open ended.
Right. Fucking like movie nerd people who like obsessed about it. I think I read that like you can tell if he's in a dream or not because if he has his wedding ring on or not. Like if he's in a dream, he has his wedding ring. Okay. I think, or vice versa.
Right.
But it's like something you have to really watch for. Yeah, a lot of little details, and that's Nolan for you. He's
sure.
An expert.
All right. Well, we'll move on now to brace yourselves. This top 5 here is something. Number 5, the 5th highest grossing movie of the year 2010 was the Twilight Saga: Eclipse.
Nice.
Fucking hell.
Fucking hell. Like just if you're what they're just goofy ass movies like for teens.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
Tell you,
you know,
I've never seen it, but I can tell you
That's
right
a-
now, it sucks.
bad movie night. I guarantee it. That's a good bad
that
movie night.
that would actually work. Yeah, we would we'd start at the beginning and do all of them over.
God damn.
over the course of a couple
Bender.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Jeez.
real bottom of the barrel. Just what are we doing with our lives? Sort of shit.
We gotta have it like get it like dubs from like other countries and then like do like English subtitles, make it just a little bit worse. All right, number 4, the fourth highest grossing movie of the year 2010, Iron Man 2, with the guy was in The Wrestler, Mickey Rourke.
Rourke?
Yeah,
Yeah.
bad guy.
I just
got
don't
electric
care about that stuff.
It's just it's like the worst. It's the worst Iron Man.
Yeah, I agree.
I've only seen it once. I don't even know if I watched it all the way through. I kind of just gave up. I don't really have much to say about it. It's not beloved, and 13 years later, it's still thought of as one of the much weaker entries in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mm-hmm. Well, 1 and 3 are good, I'd say.
Yeah, 1 and 3. 3 is good until the end or the twist when you find out. Well, we'll get there in a couple years. Yeah.
1 is good though. Well,
1 was good
because it was at the very beginning of it. If even I don't even know, did they even have that was before it was a Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was just like its own movie, basically.
Right. That was the first one to start it all off. And the thing is that I think chronologically, like Captain America, I guess, storyline.
Oh, yeah, if you want to get into that, yeah.
Yeah, but we're not gonna. But Iron Man was like the first one, and you could not get a better cast person as Tony Stark than Robert Downey Jr. He's just perfect. And that movie was good. The ad-lib "I am Iron Man" at the end, they used that, and that obviously we'll get to it later, but became like his big catchphrase. All right, the top 3. Here we go. The third highest grossing movie of the year 2010 was the movie Alice in Wonderland, where Johnny Depp is the Mad Hatter. Watched that one. I believe I saw it in 3D, because everything was in 3D, as you'll see for terrible movies. That's
true. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Tim Burton. Yeah.
I never watched it.
I saw bits and pieces. I think clips. And I'm just like, nah.
It's weird because you'd suspect Tim Burton to be like perfect for making an Alice in Wonderland.
He might have been if he did it in the early 90s.
Right.
I think he did it then. Like after Batman Returns, if he did like Alice in Wonderland.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, like a really weird, dark Alice in Wonderland with the...
Because
that probably would be good.
I see what you're saying.
Allowed him to go nuts.
When he was more practical effects?
Right, yeah. I
Yeah.
think he could do that. But like by this time, it's... what is it? Helena Bonham, what is it? Carter, whatever her name is. Yeah, she's in this movie as the Queen of Hearts, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But her head's all like misshapen. It's not like practical. It's just CGI. Everything's CGI. It's overly CGI'd and it's in 3D. So it's just not good.
Just
Whatever.
crap.
Yeah, I didn't. It wasn't the worst thing I'd ever seen, but I never watched it again. I never said, "Oh, Alice in Wonderland. Let's watch that." I would absolutely watch the Disney cartoon again. There's the scene in the Disney cartoon where the oysters get eaten by the walrus. Like that's fucked up. But that's more fucked up than anything you see in Alice in Wonderland in 2010. So that's what I'm looking. That's my Alice. All right, number 2, the second highest grossing movie of the year 2010, carrying over from 2009, the movie Avatar. We already talked about that in 2009. There's no real reason to bring it up again.
Nope.
They did finally make a sequel, and I tried watching that. 15 minutes, I shut it off. Shit. Don't like it. Don't like it at all.
I thought it was fine, but I watched like 4K HDR on my nice TV and was like, holy shit, this is beautiful. So I think just the look of it kept me going, despite the story being super generic, and they brought back the bad guy from the first one, and it's just,
it sucks.
Yeah, it's dumb.
All right,
I watched the whole thing though.
That's good. All right. Any guesses for the top movie of 2010? It's an animated film.
Oh.
Animated.
like computer animated, I assume, right?
Yes. Yeah.
No clue.
Is it Pixar? A Pixar movie?
Pixar film.
Wall-E?
Wall-E. We got Wall-E. Nick.
I have no idea.
Toy Story.
What? Toy Story?
3.
Oh, 3.
Toy Story 3.
Gotcha.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I actually saw that movie in the drive-in. It was the last movie I ever watched. Last movie currently that I've ever seen in a drive-in. So
wasn't I with you?
You might have been.
I was there.
Dane was there. I know Dane.
Yeah, Dane rode in the trunk of my car because he didn't have any money. He snuck him in. Oh man.
We watched Toy Story 3. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was okay, good. I thought it was a good ending to the series. And it's like, I'm glad it's a good, solid ending.
I'm sorry. He snuck Dane in the trunk to go see Toy Story 3.
I guess so. Yeah,
that's fucking ridiculous.
And the whole drive. The whole drive there, I was like blasting metal music.
Oh man, that's great.
I remember him just being like, don't get in the car accident. Just muffled.
Right.
And then when we pulled into the drive-in, I'm like yelling, Dane, shut up. We're gonna get, we're coming up to the gate.
Right.
Shut your mouth.
And then, we drove all the way to the back and I popped the trunk and Dane came out and there we go.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But good movie though. Good, very good ending, and they should have ended it there instead of doing Toy Story 4.
Are they doing a Toy Story 5 by chance?
Probably.
It just never stopped.
It's fucking Disney. They'll never stop with anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, that will do it for the top 10
movies.
Pixar,
wasn't it?
Yep, that was Pixar.
Yeah, which is Disney.
Is it?
Disney Pixar.
Of course, Disney owns everything, right?
Yep. Yeah, they were independent, and then they made Toy Story 3. All right. That does it for the top 10 movies in terms of gross. We will now move on to my personal film selections of 2010. I think I have about 12 here. I'll start off with the first one, Shutter Island. The movie Shutter Island. Personal pick of mine. Leonardo DiCaprio. This is a big year. 2 great movies, Inception and this. And Shutter Island, I remember I watched Inception and then Shutter Island like back to back, like a year or so after they came out. But I think I may have illegally downloaded them. Maybe. I was big on that in 2010.
Yeah.
But I remember at the end of the movie, I'm not sure if it's kind of like Inception in a way where it's like you're not sure. It's open ended. Does he realize, or is he still like sick in the head? And I think he's going to get lobotomy. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Basically,
I can't remember.
Yeah. So like the whole movie is set up where the guy Leonardo DiCaprio he's put on a boat. They make him. You find out later it's a whole setup, but he's a detective that he goes around to try and solve this crime at this mental institution or whatever it is. Then you find out he's the patient, and the whole crew is all working around trying to get him to, I think because I'm pretty sure he murdered his wife after she killed his daughters, and it's this horrible memory he's repressed. And would you rather live with thinking you were a good man or die realizing that you murdered your wife too? And you're not sure if he's just come to the conclusion that he's better now, or if he's still sick and he's walks away about to be, get a lobotomy. And I'm pretty sure that's the end of it. It was like I said, open ended. You're just not sure. But I thought it was really good. I know Max von Sydow was in it, the guy from Ming the Merciless from Flash Gordon. And it's kind of an open-ended movie at the end there for Flash Gordon, because you see Ming at the end with his ring there. It's the end with a question mark. Shutter Island is kind of like the end. Yeah, maybe we'll see. So I think it might be a Sydow effect.
The end.
The end, and then a question mark pops up. Oh, Shutter Island. That was a Scorsese flick, right?
Yeah.
Kind of a departure for him. I mean, I haven't seen all of his movies, but doing like a thriller like that instead of like a gangster movie.
Yeah, I think definitely a departure. No gangsters at all in the movie. That and like you can even say that for Cape Fear. So, yeah,
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Departure.
he has done thrillers before.
And Silence.
right? Yeah, and
Well,
Silent.
okay, I stand corrected.
Well, the thing about
And-
Cape Fear remake, like
That's
that movie,
true.
but with Silence for sure, and Shutter Island. So branching
And
out.
I think Inception and this movie Shutter Island like maybe realized that DiCaprio's a like legit actor. That's kind of when I realized that.
When DiCaprio was a legit actor.
No, it made me realize like, oh, this Leonardo DiCaprio, he's like a good actor. He's not just like some like teen heartthrob guy.
I think for me, it was The Departed that did it. For
Oh, see,
me. But
I
it was
hadn't seen that. Yeah,
it was another Scorsese flick.
Again, another another flick by Martin. Gangs in New York. That was one of the first times I also, but Basketball Diaries when he was in the 90s. He does a really good job on that movie. Is fucked up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was the first time I realized he was a legitimately good actor.
Well, at least he realized it.
Gilbert Grape too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Gilbert Grape for sure. I mean, people actually thought he had like Down syndrome. Like that.
Well, once again, I stand corrected.
Okay, we'll move on now. Another personal film selection of mine for 2010, the movie The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. I don't know why I love this movie, but I do. It always cracks me up. It's like a different play on the usual tropes. In the beginning, you've got Samuel L. Jackson and what is it? Rock the Dwayne Johnson, and they're jumping off like the top of a roof just because they think they can make it, and they just fall to their deaths.
Yeah, that's a great scene.
Okay, you just said Rock the Dwayne Johnson. I've never seen the movie though, so
they're like, we can land in that bush down there, and they're on like 100-story building. They just decide to try and land for the bush and completely miss it and die.
Oh my god,
they would have died anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, this sounds pretty awesome.
It's a pretty funny movie. I was honestly shocked.
Right.
And but yeah, it's actually a pretty funny one. Mark Wahlberg just can't believe Will Ferrell's. He just lands all these gorgeous women. His wife, like Eva Mendes, and he's like, "Honey," like Will Ferrell sees her. She walks into the living room where Mark Wahlberg and him are sitting, and she's like, "Oh, hi," he's like, "Hi, this is my wife," and Mark Wahlberg's like, "Shut up, seriously, come on now, that's not your wife." He's like, "Come on, honey," and Will Ferrell says to her, he's like, "You come in here dressed like trash, in front of guests. You can't have that." She's like, "You're beautiful. You don't have to." He's like, "Go on, get something nice." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." It's just like this crazy. It's so fucking stupid. It's so ridiculous. It just makes me laugh. I recommend it. Yeah. Seen it, Nick? Right? I think. Has any scene?
Oh yeah.
Anything that you can recall stick out for you for The Other Guys?
Yeah. There's some just the great moments between him and Mark Wahlberg are just actually really good in that movie. There's one where he's talking about like how he's a shark or something. I don't remember how it went, but it was a really great line. But yeah, it's just I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I just remember it was really good. It was really funny.
I remember they went to they needed to talk to one of Will Ferrell's exes, and he was hesitant, but it's like the only lead we got to go on. He's like, "All right, well, let's go." And he goes to her name was like Cherith or something like that, or Cherist or something. I don't know, some strange name. And it's what's her face, Blake Lively, I think. And she shows up, and Mark Wahlberg once again is like, "What the hell, another woman?"
Right.
He's like, she invites him into the house, and she's with her new husband, and she's like, "Oh, you." She's like getting mad at Will Ferrell. She's like, "I've done things with you that I haven't done with any other man," and she like points at their husband, and her husband's like, "You're one lucky man. You are. I've heard." And she's just, what the fuck's going on? It's this fucking ridiculous movie. And it doesn't make any sense. But The Other Guys, absolutely recommend it. All right, we'll move on to another personal film selection. The movie The Book of Eli. The Book of Eli. I like this movie. I've only seen it like once or twice, but I liked it when I saw it. Have you guys ever seen this movie?
Is that Morgan Freeman or Denzel Washington or? Okay.
I think it was you and I that watched it in theaters with Dad, actually.
I don't remember. Did we watch this in theaters?
I watched it in theaters with Dad. I remember that. I think you might have been there with me. with us.
Maybe. I don't remember. I remember I think, well, it's possible. I just remember watching it. I thought I watched it at home. I like downloaded it. This was like a big year. But yeah, I could be wrong. Anyway, I liked it when I saw it. And then what the book was the Bible, right? Right? That's the book that was like going crazy, and he's blind, and you don't realize he's blind for like the first 40 minutes because he's just doing
Right.
well, like I obviously can
And
see.
the Bible's useless to everyone because it's in Braille.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's going after this book. It's a good movie. It's absolutely good.
Yeah, I know I've seen it, but I think it's been over 10 years.
For sure. All right.
It's pretty cool post-apocalyptic world. I like it.
More cheerful than The Road.
Oh, The Road. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh boy.
It's horrible. Oh god. Not horrible like bad. It's a great movie.
It's yeah.
Oh man. That was 2009.
Right.
Another personal film selection, a David Fincher flick. Any guesses? David Fincher, 2010.
20, Social Network.
Ding ding ding. The Social Network. Yes.
Great movie.
Great movie. Soundtrack by Trent Reznor and someone else.
Woo. Atticus Ross.
Atticus. That's it. Yep. I remember watching this movie for the first time and just being like hooked from the very first scene. That dialogue between him and his girlfriend. It's just a snappy back and forth. That I don't know, just drew me in. And then the music afterwards, that just like this sort of ambient but like melodic at the same time. Really
you can thank that dialogue to who was it? Aaron Sorkin, right?
Yep, Aaron Sorkin.
If you like walking and talking and more talking, he's your guy.
West Wingin'.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anybody got any scenes from the Social Network that stuck to you? You know, something that made you laugh.
I mean, I know I loved it when I watched it, but it's been so long since I've seen it. Just how like Facebook started out as like a rate the girls sort of thing, right? Is that how it was?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's what I remember from the movie too. It was like some sort of college thing, right?
Yes.
Where it's just kind of, yeah, that's why it was like with the face book or whatever. Because it was like
they called it the college campus was the Facebook, so you saw like pictures of other students, just like their grade,
and you can rate them and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Took all those pictures and just made a website where people just went to it and clicked and rated the people. So yeah. Not entirely accurate, you know, all the way through. Was, you know, they took some liberties and whatnot, but I think for me, I remember excuse me, when he fucked with the Winklevoss team, the twins. They basically funded his ability to even start the Facebook, and then he cut him out and neglected to write them back, and then decided to do his own thing, and then just cut them out of the whole thing. Which is pretty much what happened. And then they sued him, and they didn't win because, you know, he did it well enough where he wouldn't get sued. And his friend, who, you know, was part of advertising, I think he was like that was his whole thing, was advertising, and he ends up getting his shares just like distributed. Everyone's distributed not necessarily equally, but eventually his gets funneled down to like, I don't know, I think it was actually like 10 to 13%. In the movie it's 0.3%. It's not that low, but in real life, but like he did get screwed in that regard. And that's a way you can go about doing that, where you can dilute someone else's shares and put it in a pool and then reshuffle it around, and now they don't have as many. And they did that. But I thought it was a really excellent movie, one of the best of the decade. The Social Network, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The movie The Town. If you guys ever seen that, that's another personal selection of mine. The Town. Ben Affleck, I believe, directed this movie.
I've never heard of it, I don't think.
It's again, it's in Boston, because I believe, you know, it's Affleck. So him and his group of ruffians, they rob. You remember the movie Heat or something like that? Yeah, like it was in the 90s. Anyway,
yeah,
they like
heard of it, never seen it.
They rob places and whatnot, you know, and they're it's kind of stereotypical in some regard, but I actually found it entertaining and enjoyable. Don't want to give away too much, but yeah, it's high stakes. Like they rob a bank, right? And there's a lady at the beginning of the movie. She's terrified and she's scared out of her mind. And Ben Affleck's character feels bad for her, and he ends up like finding out where she lives, and then does like nice things. But the whole time he's the guy that terrified or traumatized her, and she's also like the only people or that person there that in that bank that heard anybody speak of the group. So she's also, it's good to keep an eye on her to see what she knows, that sort of. And there's a whole thing, and it kind of sprawls out.
It's the first movie I saw Jeremy Renner in.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner,
and I really liked him in that.
Yep. Anything from that movie stick out to you, Nick? You can remember?
Yeah, them just like, I think they were like wearing like masks and robbing a bank.
Yep.
I remember like the ending being like, it's just cheesy, honestly. The whole love story I can do without.
Right.
And the whole, shitty ending. I like the action sequences and stuff like that. It was shot pretty well. But I remember liking it a lot when I was younger, and not so much now these days.
You know what? I have not actually seen it in a while. So I think the last time I saw it was like maybe 2012, 2013. I don't know. Yeah. I just remember, wasn't there like, there's a guy, he was like this little kid who like was looking around for his mom like the whole time, and like everyone in the neighborhood didn't want to tell him where his mom was. And there's the guy who like prims roses. He's like, "You're gonna do what I tell you." He's kind of like the that is better, he's like, "You're gonna do what I tell you," and he's like cutting up thorns and shit and talking about how his mom was doped up, got her all doped up, nice and proper, and then he like did something to his mom. It's a whole thing. But yeah, the town.
He sounds like the guy is like, don't go down there now.
Yeah.
No, pass down. You passed the train tracks. You've gone too far.
That is better. Oh, all right. Another movie that I know Nick and I saw in theaters. It's a Coen Brothers film, a remake. The movie True Grit.
Yeah.
Grit. You ever seen that, Brad?
I believe so. Western with the dude.
Yep.
Jeff Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Matt
yeah,
Damon.
it's a movie I saw 10 or so years ago that I don't really remember, but I do remember liking it.
Nick, anything that stuck out to you?
It's been so long since I've seen it.
Well,
go on. I can't really remember much, honestly.
All right.
I know that there was like, they're like training that girl to shoot. I don't really remember much, to be honest.
Well, so the girl's father is murdered by this guy, by Jeff Brolin's character. And the girl is the oldest of the family, and she decides to take money and hire a lawman of sorts. The dude, the Jeff Bridges. She decides to pay him to go find this guy, to go hunt him down and kill him, and get money back or something like that for murdering her father. And she's I thought the girl that played I can't remember her name in the movie, but I thought she was an excellent actress, young but really good, held her own with everyone in that movie. I like the scenes with the Texas Ranger played by Matt Damon, who, like, cocky but still manages to it's a good play back and forth between him and Jeff Bridges' character. They got an eye patch and all that stuff. It's very realistic. The scenery is fantastic. The music is great. I used to listen to the True Grit soundtrack while I played like Red Dead Redemption 2. It was just so good. Yeah, the scenery, like I said, everything's really, really well done. It's a really good remake. One of the better ones. Good movie. True Grit.
Yep.
Another film. Let's see, 6 more here. A Darren Aronofsky film. The movie Black Swan. The movie Black Swan. Brad, have you seen this movie?
Yeah. Oh yeah. A few times. I know I saw it in theaters. Yeah, it's a wonderful, I don't know, story about like obsession and trying to be like perfect, which is like the last line, I believe, like I was perfect.
Right.
And she starts losing her mind and
Yeah, it was
fucking awesome.
Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis.
Yep.
And Natalie Portman's mother in the movie was just insane when it came to like controlling her.
Yep.
And making sure she did like basically her whole life had to be that. She was so obsessed with it getting it perfect that in metaphorically turning into the Swan itself. And yeah, it's a whole thing. But there's so much fucked up stuff in that movie. It's really good. I like it.
Isn't there something to do with some guy on the train with scissors? There's some fucked up scene, and I remember thinking like, get that guy a pair of scissors or something like that. I don't know.
No, yeah, no. I believe she was on the like subway, and she looks over and it's just some guy just like jerking off, like looking at her and jerking off, something like that. I believe.
Yeah, that stuck out to me.
And then I love the soundtrack. It's a Swan Lake by Tchaikovsky or whatever.
Oh yeah,
it's just beautiful music, and I mean that is the ballet that they're doing. So I remember she was like freaking out, and there was like a monster guy coming at her, and then she like, I don't know if she like snaps out of it, and then she's like backstage, and that same monster guy like walks by her. It's just a dude in a costume, and he's just like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like after she had like this freak out about it.
Jesus, yeah, that whole movie is a psychological thriller. Yeah, it's really good.
It's nightmare fuel.
Yeah, it's quite excellent.
For sure. All right, I got a few here. She's Out of My League, another comedy film I like. It's kind of a, it's not great. Don't get me wrong, but it's got a soft spot for me because I was watching a Pens game when it was being filmed at the Pens game, and so they have live footage from that game in that movie, which I was like, oh, that's neat. So again, it's like a time capsule. I think the funniest thing about that movie is probably Jay Baruchel's little friend. He has this like freak out of I don't know. It's I guess it's not a very good movie, but something about like I could see why people were like, she's out of my league. Like, yeah, I know it's not. It's just it's one of the better. I would choose that one.
Honestly, I didn't mind it.
Yeah,
but I'll back you up on that. I didn't mind it.
I don't know. I haven't seen it so long. I'm worried that it's not as good as I remember. We'll move on here. We only have 4 more left. The movie Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. That's another personal selection. I watched that once.
I did not like that movie at all.
You didn't like it? I thought it was neat.
No.
The visuals. It was one of those movies I maybe not downloaded.
Who directed that?
Oh, I don't remember.
I remember watching it, and I think I liked it, but I haven't seen it since the year it came out, basically.
Yeah, I think I saw it in 2011.
Oh, it's Edgar Wright, and he's quite excellent as a director.
I just liked all the visual stuff.
Yeah, it was very stylized, like comic book kind of stuff.
What I liked about it. I couldn't tell you a damn thing. I just know he fights boyfriends and ex-boyfriends and shit.
I remember he visited some girl, and it was the fairy fountain music from Zelda playing in the background, which I don't know why I remember that, but it's like, cool, Zelda music.
Yeah.
I know that his friend was played by yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Romulus.
Yeah, Romulus. Yeah, it was the first thing I ever saw him in.
Okay. Oh, that's crazy. All right, 3 movies left here. The movie The King's Speech. I thought that was a pretty good one. It was up for Best Picture of the Year in 2011, I think. It came out in 2010.
Oh, yeah.
I thought the movie was good, but I thought the speech sucked, honestly. Didn't think it was that good.
I never saw it.
So,
well, it's not about getting there. It's about the journey.
I love the journey. Yeah. The destination could have been better.
Maybe the King's Speech was just the friends we made along the way.
Yeah. That's true. All right, 2 left here. We got 127 Hours, the movie with what's his name, Franco. He cuts off his arm, and true story. It was a harrowing story. Good Lord, lucky as hell that there was like a helicopter and people nearby with his arm cut off. I don't know how many minutes he had, hours or whatever it was, before he just bled out and died. But I guess better than nothing. So
yeah,
I just remember
had a Sigur Rós song in it, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Festival.
Yeah, well, when he cuts his arm off and it's like the ending kind of thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, good movie. I liked it.
The ending is it's like, with the music with Sigur Rós, bum 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 dun dun dun, all that stuff. It's just like this music, this epic thing, and then he just gets in a helicopter, flies off, movie's over. It was real quick. It's like bum 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 bum. Oh, get in a helicopter. See you later. All right, credits. End of the movie. Because the whole movie you're just standing there, watching him go through the motions, and then that's the whole thing. All right, my last movie of my last personal selection pick of 2010. I will probably leave descriptions about this movie, if you have any, to you two. I've seen bits and pieces of it. It was interesting to me, but it looks really. I remember being like, I got to be in the mood for this. But the movie Enter the Void. Enter the Void.
God, oh shit.
Oh man,
you've seen it, Nick?
I've seen this movie like a dozen times.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like 3 hours long, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But the reason I watched it so much is because I would show it to other people.
Oh,
and I would watch it along with them. I loved it a lot when I was younger. It's just this it's literally this movie about you're in this guy's consciousness, or you are this guy's consciousness the entire time. And it's based on like the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and it references it many times. It's about this guy who deals drugs in Japan, lives with his sister, who's a stripper, I believe, in Japan. There's a lot of some backstory behind them, like the car crash. I don't want ruin too much, but there's like a car crash. Their parents die. They end up doing their thing on their own, but you basically just are this guy's consciousness, and you're like staring through his eyes, and then he ends up dying. And won't ruin that on how he dies, but then you basically just see you are him floating around and visiting all around. Basically, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty sweet movie. Visuals are cool. Definitely recommend getting really blitzed when you watch it. Yeah, it's great. There's literally a DMT trip in the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
The movie's a fucking wild ride, is what it is. I remember one little detail, like he's like looking in the mirror, and like he would blink, and then the movie frame would go black for a second as he blinked. Like,
right.
A lot of cool details like that. And
it was awesome.
And then, oh yeah, I don't want to spoil the ending, but the ending is fucking nuts.
It is, yeah. That's right.
Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Almost quite literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've never seen that camera angle before.
Yep.
Oh, and then then just the blurriness at the very end when you realize what happened, and
it's this movie that's like debauchery, drugs, alcohol, and death, birth, and life. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
All centered around one person's consciousness. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't say anything else about it. Just that it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I remember watching it for the first time and being like, this is an interesting way. Is it going to be like this the whole time? And sure enough, I just remember there was one scene he goes to the bathroom. I think he gets shot or something, and he starts bleeding. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Like the next 20 minutes was like confusing as hell. And I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on. And then I think I got called away or something, and then I just never went back to the movie.
Oh yeah, there's like a long sequence of just like, I forget what color. It's just like orange or whatever, just going, or just some weird shit going on for a very long time. Same director that did Irreversible. Have you ever seen that movie?
Oh god, we'll get to that movie. That movie's horrible.
Is that later on? I thought that was before this one.
Oh, maybe it isn't. Oh, well, we missed it then.
Well, yeah, we probably never mentioned it because why would we talk about that movie?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a fucked up movie.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Well, those French guys, you gotta keep an eye on them.
Gotta give it to them. Good lord. All right. Thank you, guys. We will now move on to the worst movies of 2010. Got a handful here. I'm going to start off with The Last Airbender. Signs director there. Can't remember the guy's name. Oh,
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong.
Yeah, Shyamalana na 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 na. Hey, goodbye.
M. Night Shyamalan's disastrous, horrible, critically, commercially panned The Last Airbender. I never saw this movie. I downloaded 3.4% of it and decided it was taking too long. It was in Blu-ray and all that, whatever. And then we got a letter in the mail saying, don't do that or we're going to sue you. So that's all I remember about that movie. Yeah, I've heard it was terrible. So yeah.
Yeah, same here. I never saw it, just heard it was bad. It was made fun of incessantly. And by the way, those letters you get for downloading shit, you just throw them away. I've gotten dozens of them throughout the years.
This company wasn't fucking around. They shut off our internet.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. That sparked your fear of torrenting and pirating stuff.
Yeah, it was nuts. They were crazy about it. I don't understand. I wonder if my mom made it worse than it needed to be. It's possible. Like,
oh yeah, didn't she talk on the phone with them?
Maybe
or
called them. Yeah,
called them and apologized for her son downloading illegally.
And they were like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, you don't.
We must
do
bring
that.
this to the forefront.
Yeah.
So that sounds like something my mom would do, and like, why would you do that? It's just like, good lord. So
like I've gotten letters from like Warner Brothers, like, "Hey, you downloaded our movie." I'm just like, "Oh, fuck off!" Just throw them away. Like, well, yeah, they could bring the cops to my house. I don't care.
Right.
I think something similar happened. Something similar happened to my brother, and then he called them. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. It was my roommate." I'm like, dude, no. You just forget it ever happened and keep doing what you're doing.
Was it like Warner Brothers is going to go under because you didn't give them $20?
Right.
They're in bad shape.
Yeah, right. They're desperate, man. Please don't download our shit.
All right. Another terrible fucking movie of 2010, the movie Grown Ups. Jesus. It's Adam Sandler. What is his name? Kevin James.
Ironically, the movie isn't for grown-ups.
Yes. No, not at all.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, Adam Sandler, Kevin James, David Spade, and Chris Rock. I think that's it. Oh, and Rob Schneider. I think Rob Schneider's in there somewhere. Fucking
oh God, it's become a cesspool.
Yep.
And they all got a paycheck.
Yep. I mean, good on Adam Sandler. I think we got to have a movie Grown Ups, and it's going to have to be filmed in Hawaii with all my friends for 6 months.
That's exactly it. Yep.
Pay for everything. Good on him. I don't know how he keeps doing it because that movie, I don't know, didn't make any money, but there wasn't enough to stop it from making a sequel. Another terrible movie of 2010, the movie Jonah Hex. What's Jonah Hex? Well, Jeff Bridges and Megan Fox. And I believe it was a comic book related film, but some obscure comic book that nobody was like big fans of.
I don't recall this.
But commercially panned, critically panned, Jonah Hex. No one, I don't even know if that's like what made it to DVD. And maybe put it on VHS in 2010. I couldn't tell you. Another terrible movie of 2010. Nick's personal pick for a bad movie night: The Spy Next Door.
Oh God.
Spy Next Door. I don't think I've ever heard of
Jackie
this movie.
Chan. What was it? Jackie Chan had to like babysit the kids or something, and he's like a professional spy. I think that's how it goes. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds hilarious.
Right. Oh, the hijinks. Because he's a professional spy, but he can't handle a couple of kids.
I'm slapping my knee already.
And that's the movie.
Just trying to get feeling back in your legs. Yeah. Yeah, it's a terrible movie. It was used for a terrible movie night. It was just one of those movies. It's like Home Alone 5, where it's like, it's so corny. It's not.
Yeah.
Oh, god damn, this movie sucks.
I made you guys watch that crap too.
Nick, you're a fucking maniac.
Man.
Locked up. All right, we're gonna go another terrible movie of 2010. We have the Tooth Fairy with what's his face?
Rock the Dwayne Johnson.
Yes, Rock the Dwayne Johnson, Tooth Fairy. Is he actually a Tooth Fairy? I think he is the Tooth Fairy. I've never wanted to watch it because
I never saw. It sounds like a Santa Claus situation. Like he killed the real Tooth Fairy, and then he had to become the Tooth Fairy. The successor.
Yeah, he murdered the Tooth Fairy in cold blood. I could see that. Yeah. Nick has never seen that movie, right? Tooth Fairy? Yeah, he's never seen it.
The Tooth Fairy? No. No, I have not. It's basically the same thing as Spy Next Door.
Gotcha.
I'm assuming. It's the same kind of, yeah.
Another terrible movie of 2010, we've got Sex in the City 2. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Another terrible movie of 2010, we've got the movie Little Fockers, which I believe is the children.
Jesus.
I don't know.
Little Fockers? Like Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, Little Fockers?
Yep. The third movie, Focker.
Weird.
Meet the Parents trilogy, I guess.
The Focker extended universe?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, I really don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Ho ho!
Who fucking cares? Yeah.
Who fucking cares? Yeah.
Absolutely. And the last two movies are both in 3D. Step Up 3D, terrible. And Piranha 3D, also terrible.
I watched some of Piranha 3D. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you did. All right.
Yeah. We won't get into that.
What was your favorite scene?
Wait, so just one Piranha?
Yeah, but it's in 3D. It's massive.
Yeah, but I mean,
but there are some massive things in that movie.
Absolutely.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. Well, we will. We're gonna power ahead here. That will do it though for movies of 2010.
All right, but I want to add one more movie because it just came up here in my 2010 movies.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, well there's that one, and then I have one. It's called Rubber from 2010.
Oh, the tire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If C. McD's watching, like him and I watched that together back in 2010 or 2011.
They couldn't be watching. He's listening.
Oh,
he's watching. Worried.
That's what I
might be a bit concerned just staring at the screen.
Him and I, if he's listening, we watched that movie together.
I think I watched
it's about a killer tire going around and exploding people's heads and shit. It's very breaking the fourth wall, and it's weird, but I remember liking it.
Yeah, oddly entertaining. I watched some of it too. I think maybe I'll watch half of it. Sorry, I forgot to mention another worst movie. You're not done here. I lied. The worst movie of 2010 by a mile. Miles. Nautical, astronomical, it doesn't miles. The worst movie of 2010, maybe the worst movie of the decade. Movie Birdemic, Shock and Terror.
Oh man. Absolutely.
All right.
I just remember God. I mean, there's so many bad things in that movie, but the first thing that stood out was, I mean, just how poor quality the cinematography was.
Yes.
And basically I lacked it completely. There was none. It seemed to be shot on what everyone calls a potato, but also the sound quality kept changing.
Yep. Oh yeah.
All the time. and it just made it more distracting where I couldn't really pay attention. The acting is just, I mean, it's atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Nothing about it was appealing. I mean, you really have to be very high on drugs. And if you're not and you can withstand it, then good on you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a hell of a movie to get through.
And I think I watched it with my brother, and I think Chris, you were there too. Maybe?
Oh, probably. Is that your apartment? I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my brother being in the business, he knows about cameras and stuff, and yeah, he loved it. Just when there were outside shots where it was bright out, it was blue tinged. He's just the iris is too opened or too closed, whichever, and just like that. Like basically, my brother was saying like they have no idea how to operate that camera. And then they were in the diner and they're like, the waitress came up and her audio was like way too loud. It was like cut in. You could hear like the background noise, like. Oh man, yeah, it's just.
I knew I was a treat when the intro took 5 minutes of just a winding road.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh God,
it's trying to be like The Shining.
Yeah. Just keeps playing on repeat. Finally,
and then he gets gas, and we see that, and then he takes off again.
It's still the same shit. And after an eternity goes by, finally we get to we're in the movie here, and the first thing that you like, because the sound quality has been pretty standard here, and then it gets to like he walks into this restaurant, I think, and it's just like
that diner.
It's really loud.
Yep, yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah,
like what the fuck? I started laughing hysterically when I see the birds for the first time.
Yeah,
and they're like dive bombing and exploding for some reason, and I don't even know.
Yeah, the whole movie turned out to be, I guess, a call on like global warming or something.
Sure was.
Yeah,
that's what I took away. Absolutely.
Yep, that's exactly what that movie was about.
Well, because at the end, you guys remember the end? Like there was that guy that came out of fucking nowhere when they were in the woods, and literally just described all of it. Was the weirdest script ever. It was like just talked about climate change and global warming, and they're just like, yeah. Wait, it was basically it was the guy giving the answers to why the birds were going crazy,
and then the birds all flew away. Right.
Yeah.
Then, oh, okay.
All right.
We have to be kinder to our planet.
So, and sadly, I have seen this movie, I think 3 times. So,
that's okay.
Yeah.
I've seen it a few times, showing it to people and whatnot.
Right. Yeah.
Not as many times as I've seen The Room, which is probably about 20 times by now. Just showing it to people. It's like, I need to spread this movie around. It is my goal in life.
Strangely enough, Birdemic got a 18% on Rotten Tomatoes, and we have watched that. That doesn't make any sense. It should have gotten a 0. A 0.
It should. I mean, North.
Well, you got to take it.
Can you trust Rotten Tomatoes anymore if they're giving Birdemic 18%?
Well, it depends if it's the audience or the critics.
I guess that's true.
The audience might give it like 2 stars or whatever, because it's so fun to watch with people and make fun of.
That's true.
Well, the audience definitely gave it a better score. That's sad.
I think.
What does this world come to?
I think for me, the Birdemic, I've seen it at least 6 times, at least, showing it to other people and whatnot. I watched it once on mushrooms. I remember being in the bathroom after finally figuring out how to use the bathroom and just hearing just start laughing hysterically. I can't even make it to the door because it's just so ridiculous. Because I'm thinking they're all in there just sitting there watching this fucking shitty ass movie, and I'm in here, and they're just stuck there.
Oh, that's awesome!
And the random scientist who just shows up on the dock or the pier, and he's like, "Well, we need to get this world figured out. That's what's going on. There's been too much pollution going on, and the animals are fighting back." And they have like machine guns. They're shooting at the birds, but they're like floating right above them. Like, it's stupid. One of them has a coat hanger or something. There's a scene where they're like at a club or something and they're dancing, and there's this corny ass song that plays the entire time over and over again. It's just this weird bass and this like clunky guitar, this funkified. I don't know, but my God, it was terrible, uniquely terrible. Sound quality all over the place, dialogue, just the character. No, horrible. It should be recommendation. Actually, it should be my recommendations. To be honest with you, not work.
Now you got me thinking. The way like it's like nature attacking. Is this like a spiritual sequel to The Happening, you think?
It could be, yeah. You know what? Which one's better, honestly?
Ooh.
Oh God, that's the lesser of two evils, right?
I mean, The Happening has The Breeze, and Birdemic is birds.
Okay, so I would say that
Which
The
fly on the
Happening.
breeze.
No, I would say The Happening is better, and I'm not saying simply just by story. I'm saying by, like, I mean, some sort of professionalism is behind that movie.
I agree. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with The Happening, and it's not at all because it's good. It's just the bar is so low for Birdemic. You just have to be okay.
But Birdemic is the bar itself.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
literally
exactly.
anything is above it.
Exactly.
Oh God, I remember I was at some like festival, like a blueberry fest, I think it was, and there was like right before the fireworks are about to go off. I'm sitting there, and the two girls next to me are having a conversation, and one of them, this is not verbatim, but this is pretty damn close to what they said. It was, "Have you ever seen the movie The Happening?" "What? The Happening?" "Oh yeah, I think I have." "Right? Yeah, I think that could happen." "What?" "I think that could actually happen." And I'm like sitting there like, "There's no way this is happening. I can't believe this is happening," you know. And yeah, so apparently it's not that crazy of an idea for some, that The Happening. But if you were to tell them about Birdemic, I think they'd be like, "There's no fucking no, come on, now. Birds exploding, get the hell out of here."
Of course, yeah.
I don't know that they might accept that as something that could possibly happen.
You know what? I actually think those two probably would. They might believe anything. All right. Well, that will do it for the movie section of the podcast, or worst movies of 2010. Thank you guys. Thank you. All right, now we will move into the music section with music. Music of 2010.
Man, it's the music of the 2010s. I'm gonna listen till I can't no more.
And for albums that went number one in 2010, God damn it.
This
All
is
right.
gonna be a slog.
This is okay, so I'm just gonna preface this right off the bat here for people listening. I don't want to sound like old man yelling at clouds sort of deal, but honestly, I think the 2010s might be the worst decade for music. Who knows? The 2020s might be better. It probably already is, but like for whatever reason, it was just for what I can remember, and at least for 2010, I'm pretty right on. I feel it's not good. The number one album of 2010 was Susan Boyle, "I Dreamed a Dream."
Oh
Fuck off.
my God.
Yeah.
I forgot all about her.
Susan Boyle, fuck off.
Yeah, she was that really ugly lady that sang beautifully.
Yeah,
Right.
she's a great voice, nice lady, sweet lady, but
Yeah.
get out of here. How was that the number one album?
That's weird as fuck.
Yeah.
Here we go. We got more. Eminem's Recovery also went number one in 2010. Sade.
Yeah, I was out of Eminem by the time that came out.
Yeah, me too. Sade, Soldier of Love. I don't know if that was a Donny Osmond ripoff or whatnot, but I don't know who that is and never heard that.
Hold on.
Sade, Soldier of Love.
How's that spelled? I think I know who that is.
Sade. Sade, Soldier of Love, went to number one album in 2010. Another
I think she actually has some pretty good music.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Another album that went number one in 2010 was Lady Antebellum's "Need You Now." You remember that dreadful song? Oh God. Another album that went number one in 2010 was Taylor Swift, "Speak Now."
Nice.
Another
Tay-Tay.
Another album that went number one in 2010, Kanye West, "My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy."
I don't know.
Yeah,
I will never understand Kanye West.
Yeah, you're not. Kanye doesn't understand Kanye.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough.
And the last album that I'm going to mention that went number one in 2010, because a lot of these were just like 1 week. These albums that I mentioned sold significant numbers. Susan Boyle's "I Dreamed Dreams" obviously sold the most, but the last number one album I'm going to mention in 2010 was Susan Boyle, "The Gift." Another Susan Boyle album.
So, man, two.
2.
Jesus.
Criminy.
The top and the bottom.
Yeah, she's all about it.
Yeah.
Everything in between.
It's a Susan Boyle sandwich.
I'm going to go back to Sade for a second because in 1992 she released an album called Love Deluxe, which is quite excellent. It's a really good bumpin' uglies kind of music.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I assume the one that was from 2010 might still be actually good.
It could be. I just,
She had the song Smooth Operator.
Oh yeah, I like that one. Smooth operator. All right. Yeah, that's not bad. All right. Well, I have 2 albums to pick in 2010. Just 2.
Mhm.
It was hard, honestly. I only like a couple of songs on one and one song on another, and that's where it ended. My personal album picks of 2010: Gorillaz, Plastic Beach. Gorillaz, Plastic Beach.
Oh,
Has a couple
I
songs
never
on it.
really listened to that one.
I like a couple songs on that. And the other one I'm going to pick is Foxy Shazam, their debut album.
Oh man,
Okay.
I was obsessed with that shit when back in the day.
And that's it.
I have a couple to add.
Sure, by all means.
Go for it.
Contra by Vampire Weekend.
Gotcha.
Oh,
what do you like?
Yeah, I've never listened to that, but I've seen that album cover and heard it was really good.
Right. MGMT, congratulations as well.
Right
Their second album, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I really listened to that one. I really liked their first one.
And then I have heard these guys are good. But I'm not sure about the album. The Suburbs by Arcade Fire.
Yeah, I believe that won the Grammy for Best Album, I believe.
Yeah.
Arcade Fire.
There you go.
I liked Funeral by Arcade Fire a lot, but yeah, I never listened to The Suburbs.
Well, yeah.
That's all you got, Nick?
That's all I got.
All right, I have a few here.
Go ahead.
All right. Black Jazz by Shining, which is like it is exactly what the it's exactly what the title is. Black Jazz. It's fucking crazy free jazz metal insanity, and it's almost unlistenable. And I don't think I've ever gotten through the album, but from what I heard, for about 10 minutes, it's pretty awesome. I've got a Opus Eponymous by Ghost, which is like a Ghost have been around since 2010. This was their first album. They're like a kind of like, man, it's hard to describe them. They're really catchy. It's like pop metal.
Yeah,
but the lyrics are all like very satanic and evil.
Yeah.
If Aaron were here, he would. I think Aaron's into them more than I am, but their first album is awesome.
I heard they put on a hell of a good show, and then like all dressed up, like guys dressed up like an evil pope, essentially.
Yeah. Yep.
Not that I have anything against. This is my personal album picks, so I've only listened to like a few. So even though I know that band, I actually haven't listened to it, so I can't.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
I just saw a few here, and then Kveler Tak, their self-titled album. They're like punk metal, like kind of catchy, awesome guitar riffs, Norwegian band, and all their lyrics are in Norwegian, which I think is pretty cool. It's really heavy, catchy stuff, like kind of old. I don't know, reminds me kind of like 70s rock and metal.
Okay.
And then Diamond Eyes by the Deftones.
Oh, yeah. I like the Deftones. Never listened to that album.
Yeah. And Diamond Eyes is good. It's kind of like it's the Deftones. Like it's nothing special, but I enjoyed it. It's not as good as White Pony, but it's a solid album.
Wasn't that like White Pony, like their last album before this? Like they took a long hiatus and came back?
No, we need to get my sister on the phone here, on the line for that. I'm not sure. But it's a good album. And that's all I got.
Okay. Thank you,
Gotta pad this episode out a little bit.
A little bit. Okay. Worst albums of 2010. Let's see how many I got here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12.
God,
Jesus.
settle in for this.
Oh, first album I'm going to mention some band called AJR, Born and Bred. It is bland, corny pop music made in their living room. They apparently made a bunch of like albums in the year, like, as you call them albums. They're just burning the shit at home and then sending it out. That because you with the internet and everything, basically cut out the middleman of the music distributor. There's so many websites and things you can do to just show your music that you don't really even need a record deal anymore. You can just make your own, which is nice, and also leads to a lot of just vanilla crap, nothing to write home about. I listened to a couple songs off this album and just boring. It looks like it sounds like a really shitty, even shittier Christian rock band, like Christian soft rock band sort of deal. I don't know,
like Christian yacht rock.
Yeah, Christian yacht rock, right? Christian arc rock. Yes. All right. Another worst album of 2010, Big Time Rush's debut, Big Time Rush. Corny One Direction-esque type group, some sort of like even lamer pop punk, maybe you feel. Maybe it's just like this. It feels like a group that was made on the Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. Like it was like a Nickelodeon that made it big. A Time Rush, yeah, just music for tweens. Another worst album of 2010, Disturbed's Asylum, because Disturbed is still making music in 2010.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that can't be good.
Yeah, he's not coming back anytime soon. Kid Rock's Born Free. Another worst album of 2010, Kid Rock, Born Free.
Born Free.
Holy shit. Another album. I'd never even heard of this group, but I saw the cover and I was like, that looks terrible. And sure enough, every critical rating, everything, even audience rating, terrible. Yeah, this group called Sugar Babes with the album Sweet Seven. You want to look that up? Go ahead. It's another worst album.
Nah, I'm good.
Yep. Another worst album of 2010. We've got Good Charlotte's Cardiology. Good Charlotte is still making.
Oh man.
And nothing good. Hasn't been good ever. So there's that. Another worst album of 2010. We got 303's Streets of Gold. This is that group that did that one song of oh god, black tights dress underneath or tight dress black tights underneath. I don't know. It's something about she wants to touch me. Woo! Don't trust a hoe. That song. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, shitty band. 303. Another worst album of 2010 was Nelly's 5.0. I'm guessing this was his 5th album, and each one with diminishing returns. Another worst album of 2010. We've got Nick Jonas and sorry. We've got Nick Jonas and the Administration.
Holy shit! Watch out for them.
Is
The
he like
Administration.
Illuminati or something?
Nick Jonas and the Skull and Bones. Yeah, Nick Jonas and the Administration. Who I Am, the album Who I Am. What a shitty name for a group. Oh my god. All right, 3 more here. Brett Michaels,
Lord.
Custom Built. His album Custom Built. You can tell it's terrible. And Miley Cyrus Can't Be Tamed, although at this point in her career you kind of wish that she would be. And last one is My World 2.0. The improvement, not much. So yeah, Justin Bieber's My World 2.0, one of the worst albums of 2010. So there's that. I wonder how, real quick here before we move on. Okay, worst songs. I've only got 6. So
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Top songs. There's significantly less than. I mean, there's a number of them that it's like the same artist. I'm not going to keep names. Like I'll mention one song by that artist for the year. There's a number of artists that had like 5 songs in the top 10, so they became all top songs. So it just becomes, we'll start off here. The top song of 2010, Kesha's TikTok.
Oh man,
is that the Brush My Teeth with a Bottle of Jack song, right?
I think you're right. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it that it's the wake up in the morning like
Yeah,
P. Diddy?
yeah.
Yeah.
And feeling like P. Diddy or something like that.
God.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Crap.
I think we were just going to a Blackhawks game with my brother and sister, and they put this song on, and they knew all the words for some reason.
Oh no.
I think as a joke.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just like, what the fuck? Why am I listening to this?
Terrible. It's so shitty. Good song.
Brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack.
Trashy.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
But I think that's why they like it, because it's so funny. It's so trashy that it's funny.
God. I think at one point Kesha was on SNL and she stopped to ask, does anyone ever think maybe we're the aliens? And I was just supposed to take this seriously. Yeah, it's just wow. Really brainy. Yeah, just wow. I don't even know how to describe that song. All right, we'll move on now because it's not going to get any better. Top song, another one of 2010, Train's "Hey Soul Sister."
Oh.
I don't know if I remember this one.
Hey, Soul
Good.
Hey, no, Mister on the radio.
Oh, that. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. No.
You mentioning that gave me cancer.
That is horrible.
For real. So now we really have to get that Patreon going.
God.
God, fuck that band.
Fucking stupid. All right, we're gonna move on.
I'm angry now.
It's not. Well, you might get furious. Lady Antebellum's "Need You Now." It's a cold afternoon. I'm all alone and I need you now. Yeah, just this country.
So bad.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Every
it's so bad.
Like couple in some dive bar crying over some toxic relationship as they go home again, get drunk and drive and make more kids.
Right.
Need You Now,
Yeah.
Lady Antebellum. Thank you for that fucking song. All right, another one. We've got Katy Perry featuring Snoop Dogg, "California Girls." California Girls. California Girls are undeniable.
Ugh.
I don't know the right.
That's
So
good,
bad.
Chris. Yeah,
Yeah.
Katy Perry. Yeah.
No, that was good. Yeah.
And it's like Snoop Dogg's, "Hey, yeah, California Girls, blah blah blah, Snoop Dogg," and then it's like "California Girl." Just goes right back to it.
Snoop Dogg didn't know where he was or what he was doing.
I'd say this is
The poor
actually
guy.
That's probably true, but yeah. I'd say that's a way better rendition than the original.
Oh, thanks. Well, we're power ahead here. Usher featuring Will I Am, "OMG." I'm trying to remember that song.
I don't know.
Will I Am. What so
Oh
stupid.
my God. Oh. It's at this. I don't know. That's all I remember. Yeah, it's not good.
Jesus.
We've got B.O.B. featuring Haley Williams. You maybe have noticed something. There's 5 songs in a row that are featuring. Everyone's got it. It can't do it alone.
Right.
B.O.B. featuring Haley Williams, "Airplanes." I listened to this song. I've never heard it before in my life. Apparently, it was incredibly popular. Never heard it before in my life. I can't even remember the melody, anything, or how it went. And I think Haley Williams is the girl from Paramore.
Right.
Oh.
That's all I know. That's all I know.
I
All right.
like Paramore, so I don't know.
There you go. You might like B.O.B. Have you ever seen B.O.B. featuring Paramore?
I probably won't like it.
Bob?
Is
All
that
right.
Bob from like Bevan Bob?
Let's hope. He wishes. All right. All right. Eminem featuring Rihanna.
He wishes.
God, this song is fucking terrible. All right, this song is the poster song for toxic relationships.
Uh-huh.
I actually knew a couple.
What
This
song is it?
Eminem featuring Rihanna, "Love the Way You Lie." This is the song that, I knew a couple that this was their song. And like
This is white trash.
yeah, absolutely. And you just like, that's your song? And it's like talking about tying you to the bedpost and setting the house on fire. You know, completely misunderstanding what the word window pane means. This is your fucking song? This is it? Yeah. Wow. Yeah, if you can only imagine. I'm sure they're doing fine.
Only imagine.
I'll take that at this point. Another song. Lady Gaga's Bad Romance. I'll take that. Lady Gaga, like Lady
Good
Gaga.
song.
Good song. Good
Yep.
artist. Can play multiple. Fantastic singer. Knows what's going on. Good stuff. Lady Gaga. There we go. Just so no one thinks like I'm just nitpicking here and I don't like pop. No, if you're actually good and you've got something behind it, I'm all for it. But when it's just bland nonsense, it's like written by some Swedish guy and like sold at a price, and you just
Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
And I'm not being sarcastic when I say that is a good song.
yeah, absolutely. All right, Tao Tao Cruz Dynamite. So it's like how's this song go? We're gonna put like it's dynamite. We're gonna blah blah. You know, like it's dynamite.
Oh yeah.
No, singing hey yo, right?
Yep, that song. Absolutely.
Yeah.
God.
Yep. Fucking terrible. Moving on. Another top song of 2010. God damn. Bruno Mars, Just the Way You Are. I've heard horror stories about this guy live. Like, I know a buddy of mine who went and watched him live, and he was like, it was so soulless. He just didn't give a shit. It was so lackluster. He preferred Train. That's how bad he was. He preferred Train.
Good lord.
That
Another
is
top-
disconcerting.
Yes, another top song of 2010. Jay-Z featuring Rihanna, Empire State of Mind. Not bad. Not a bad song. One of the better of the songs, I think. I actually don't mind this song too much. Is it Rihanna? No, it's not Rihanna. It's Jay-Z featuring... Sorry, I got mixed up there. Alicia Keys. It's Alicia Keys. Sorry. I put it there. That doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, Jay-Z featuring Alicia Keys, Empire State of Mind. She plays a song. I believe Empire State of Mind is a song that's covered and it's like reimagined as a hip hop R&B song. So, yeah, not terrible. Speaking, what is terrible? Jay Sean featuring Lil Wayne, Down. Baby, are you down, 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 down? Yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
Oh Wow.
Ugh.
I'm going like back in time to a very dark place in my life.
It's so bad. I don't know how. It's gross. It just makes me nauseous. It makes me nauseous. All right, moving on. We only got 6 more, so not bad. We're almost there. All right, we got another one. This song is, oh god, by the band The Script. The song's Break Even. So it's like something like when a heart breaks, no, it don't break even, or something like that. It's like, what am I supposed to do when the best part of me was always you? What am I supposed to do? Yeah, that. Oh wait, there's a fall into pieces. Yeah, fall into pieces. Yeah, it's terrible. All right, moving on now. Michael Bublé's Haven't Met You Yet. I'll take that. That's a good little song there. It's a nice little ditty from Michael Bublé or Michael Bubble. Yeah, compared to the rest, I'll take that one.
I guess I do not care for Michael Bubbles.
Yeah, I liked his covers of old like Sinatra takes and stuff like that.
No,
He does all right. But
I guess
that was it for me. That was what my aunt bought me. His Michael Bublé, I call him Bubble now. Michael Bublé CD.
Okay,
Didn't
well,
know
my
who he
problem
was.
with him is I forget the radio station, but they they do Christmas music. I think it's like fuck. It doesn't matter, but
Or 93.9.
no, yeah, I think 93.9. Yeah, they do Christmas music, and then I hear like some classic song, and it's Michael Bublé singing it. Like fuck
Oh,
you, man.
Yeah, I get
You're
that.
ruining Christmas music for me.
Speaking of, well, how about just ruining music altogether? The next song we've got Flo Rida featuring David Guetta. I don't know. Flo Rida featuring David Guetta. Club Can't Handle Me. So it's like, nah, the club can't even handle me right now. Na 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 na. It's just this fucking stupid.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's stupid. We're moving on now. Another song, top
Yeah,
song.
it's crap. Oh my god. I know the songs you're talking about. It's bad, dude.
Yeah, it's really bad. Really, it's like, how is it this bad? How do you go from fuck, man? The 80s were good. I mean, the
Right.
90s were good. The 2000s had moments, and it just steadily gets worse. Like the closer, like in the 2000s decade we did, when it got closer to 2010, it became harder and harder to find songs that I thought were decent, albums that I thought were good. and stuff people I think would generally should listen to. And it was just crap. And maybe it's just me being
I think it's our culture ended right around September 11th.
Yes.
And then it's just been there's a little residual that kind of kept going till 2009 or so, and now it's gone completely.
We're in the end game, people. All right, here we
are.
All right, 3 more songs here. Neon Trees, Animal was another top song of 2010. Or so the no, I want the more. Uh-oh, what are you waiting for?
Oh my god,
dude.
Yep.
Uh-oh, I want the
It never ends.
Yeah. All right,
that's
2
enough.
more.
That's enough, Chris.
More. Gorillaz, Rhinestone Eyes. Listen to that. That's a good song. Another top song. It's not really a top song. I just made it because I had to put down something. That was literally the end of it. That was the last one. Was Neon Trees, Animal. I was like, I can't do it. I got to have something that I'm like, hey, that's not a bad one. Gorillaz, Rhinestone Eyes, or Melancholy Hill. Either one. I like either one of those songs. And Foxy Shazam's Unstoppable. That's a good one. Listen to that. Top songs of 2010. Sorry. All right, now we're gonna get to the worst songs of 2010. That wasn't it. That wasn't it.
Please, Chris, stop. Stop the torture.
There's only 6 more. See if you remember this one.
That wasn't it.
That was. that wasn't it. This is it though. Swear to God. Worst songs of 2010. We've got Mike Posner. I don't know. Mike Posner. Cooler Than Me. Remember that fucking song? Hang on, they're high. The guy sings it like that.
Oh yeah.
Cooler than me.
Nope. Thankfully, I've never heard that.
You should listen to it right now. Pull it up on that.
Yeah,
He's got that voice. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Move on to another fucking worst song of 2010. The Black Eyed Peas. I'm a bee. That song. Fucking hell.
Yep, I remember that. Unfortunately.
Oh God.
Jesus criminy.
Hate.
Criminy.
Hate here. I know it's a strong word, but I'm using it again. Hate. This next song. Jason Derulo's Riding Solo. I'm riding solo. I'm riding solo. And then it's like that SOLO. S, just in case anyone forgot how to spell that. Maybe my favorite interpretation of that song. I might wait, but I'll bring it up if it comes up. I'm sure it will.
Oh my God. Chris, you have to stop now. Please stop.
Star Wars Connect.
I don't need these songs like jogged back into my memory.
Solo. Feeling good. Anyway, so there's
I'm announcing this is my last podcast.
There's a song in the Star Wars Connect game where at the end of it, feature with Han Solo. Han Solo. I'm Han Solo.
Yeah, I saw that.
City in the sky. I'm Han Solo. Oh, it's so fucking stupid. All right, 3 more. 3 fucking more. All right, I'm gonna do one more here for Rihanna. Rihanna's Only Girl in the World, and I had to hear this when I worked in retail for years, and I hated it because I just heard it every day. It's just this over and over again. Over and over again.
That was in Grand Theft Auto 5, I believe.
Probably
on their pop station.
And I would never switch every time. All right, 2 more. Justin Bieber featuring Ludacris, Baby. Baby, baby.
Oh no.
Baby, baby. Oh. Yeah. It's so
that song?
Horrible. It's a terrible song. Yes, that song. Yes.
Oh boy.
Last one. We're done after this. This is it.
Okay.
The pain will end. Whew. The last, maybe worst song. It's a strong field, but maybe. The song, well, by the group Far East Movement, featuring the Cataracts and Dev, because people have heard of them. The song Like a G6. Like a G6, like a G6. That's just that feeling so fly, like slipping scissor up in my ride. Yeah, like
yikes.
Line in the song.
Thankfully, I don't think I've heard this. So
It's bad, very bad.
Very, very, very bad. And that is it. That is it.
This is by far the most traumatizing episode I've been on.
I agree.
They loved it. They loved that.
They love my pain. Okay.
Yeah.
Bunch of sick fucks.
They love the pain. Yeah, so we are finished with the music. And we will now move on to the TV shows of the year 2010. And for TV shows that debuted in the year 2010, not bad. This is actually a pretty good list. First show I'm going to mention is The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead debuted in 2010. I watched the first season. Thought the last episode was goofy. I thought it had an interesting premise. There were some parts of the first season I thought were stupid. Mainly that guy got his hand cut off after he'd been like handcuffed to some top part of the building. And then he solderized him in like a, I don't know, fucking stove. I don't know. It was stupid. He shouldn't be living. He should be horribly infected and he should be dead. But of course, he comes back in season 3. So, but The Walking Dead is another show, just like kind of like Lost and all those others, where I watched the first 4 seasons, 5 seasons maybe. The second one I watched entirely on acid, but the 5th season I think I stopped, and then I picked it up to watch the finale of the entire show. And would you know, zombies had broken loose. They were running for their lives, and they had to also contend with other people. That was the exact same plot lines that had been going on 5 years prior. That show ran its course after 4 or 5 seasons, and it hung around for another 6, and now it has like 3 spin-offs, and I don't know how anybody watches it. You guys ever watch The Walking Dead?
No.
No, I didn't think
I
so.
had no I just have no interest at all in watching it. I've seen bits, right, on the internet and whatnot. And I remember seeing, I mean, I guess I don't know if I want to do spoilers or not, I guess, but I don't really know any.
Spoil away.
But so I saw that little kid, with like the cowboy hat or whatever.
Carl.
Yeah, Carl gets shot in like through the eye. You could like see out back behind his head, like there's a giant hole in his head, right? And he lives.
Yep.
He lives through that. So no, I don't want to watch this fucking show.
Brad?
I'm sorry, what are we talking about?
The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Homa?
Sorry, I took a bathroom break real quick.
No, you're okay.
I haven't really seen that show. I think, Chris, you showed me that part where the guy like sawed his own hand off on the handcuff when he was handcuffed, and that's all I've seen, and now it's gone on for like 30 years or whatever.
Well, yeah, I was saying
It's
watched
like still going.
No, it's actually ended. But they have like 3 or 4 spin-offs, so it's not ever going to end in a way. I was just saying that I watched the first 4 or 5 seasons and then stopped watching it, and then I watched the last episode of the series, kind of like with Lost and all that. So, but The Walking Dead, if that's your thing, that's your thing. If you like it, you like it. It did okay for the first couple seasons, but I just did not care. It was the same shit every single year, and it became less and less likely the plot armor that they had for various characters that it's just not very good. So I don't think it's a show to even stand the test of time. I think honestly people probably get sick of it. I think it'll probably be forgotten, most likely. Yeah, maybe by fringe groups, people that are diehards, but for the most general public, they won't give a shit about The Walking Dead here in like 10 years. All right, another show that debuted in the year 2010. The show Sherlock. The BBC Sherlock with Benedict and Martin. What's his name? Oh, I can't think of it. He was in The Office, the UK version. He's
Yeah.
Martin, not Martin Lawrence. I don't
Martin
know.
Landau?
Martin Lawrence. That'd be hilarious if it was.
Martin
Martin
Bilbo.
Landau?
Not Martin Landau. Might want to, I don't know, Martin something.
Yeah.
Anyway, but Sherlock, I thought it was a really
Like
good
Martin
show.
Short or something. I don't know.
Martin Short.
Martin Sheen?
Martin
Why would you
Sheen.
put that up there? Yeah, we'll just keep saying Martin names. Let's see, Martin Bilbo. All right, let's see, Martin Freeman. Martin Freeman.
Oh, okay.
Bilbo Baggins. All right, yeah, but I thought like the first couple seasons of Sherlock were good. It wasn't like a season; it was just like a mini. I don't know, but the first couple of them were pretty good. And then there was one where Sherlock jumps off a building to his death, and there's like a long hiatus between that season and the next one, and everyone's wondering how he escaped and lived, and what happened. And the answer they gave you was less than desirable. It was almost like, we don't even know how he did it, but here he is. And it wasn't as good as it went on. All right, another show that debuted in 2010, the show Spartacus. Spartacus debuted in 2010. That was pretty big hit for a little while. Unfortunately, like the main actor in that show passed away, and it lost all its momentum. I think I'm gonna go through and mention. Well, fuck, there's a bunch of them. Okay, never mind. Well, I'll mention a few here. Pretty Little Liars debuted in 2010. Never watched it. Never wanted to watch it. Kind of used that show as a barometer for people that I'd want to, talk to or hang around with. If you watch Pretty Little Liars and you think this is a good show, you're probably not for me. So, I just can't. It just seemed like some teenager tween movie about shady women doing shady things, and I just don't know why. It's not for me. I'm not the demographic. It's not for me. Animated show, The Regular Show, debuted in 2010. Downton Abbey debuted in 2010. I've never really watched it. I watched like the first episode and I was like, oh, that's the day of the Titanic. Oh, that's what they're going on about here. Okay. So it starts off on like whatever, I'm not sure what day the Titanic sank, but that's when the show starts.
Interesting.
The show Louie C.K.'s show Louie.
Oh, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, where he got canned there. That debuted in 2010. You remember any highlights from that show, Brad? I know you watched that show. I never really did.
Oh my god!
Anything that stuck out to you about Louie? Scene?
No, not off the top of my head. I did watch the entire series though, and I was I was into it the whole way through.
Yeah, I remember you being a big fan. All right, another animated show, Adventure Time, debuted in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Conan has moved to TBS after the fallout with Jay Leno and NBC. Conan debuted in 2010. The show Top Gear debuted in 2010. These next two shows are
Top Gear, the BBC show? Right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Nice. I love that show.
Yeah, I figured. I remember you
with the original lineup.
Something from Top Gear that stuck out to you, a scene, an episode, something they did.
Oh, they turned a car into like a space shuttle. They always went on crazy adventures, like through different countries in different cars, and they'd break down or they would play pranks on each other.
I remember there being it was some shitty car, and they were going up this steep hill or something, and it didn't look like it was going to make it, and I don't know how the hell they were doing it. I saw like an episode of that and thinking like this show's nuts. I would never do that. Scared to death. I have a couple more shows here. They're basically related. They're made by the same people. I have three altogether. The last one that I'm going to mention is one of my favorite shows of all time. So I'm saving that one for last. But this one is another animated show that was used it was based off a podcast, and then it was animated to go along with what was said on the podcast, and it was on HBO. The Ricky Gervais Show debuted in 2010. One of my favorite. I love that show. I still watch it to this day, even though I've seen it 1,000 times. It is fantastic. I recommend it. I cannot recommend it enough. The Ricky Gervais Show debuted in 2010. I don't think Brad's watched too much of it, but Nick.
Yeah, I love the Ricky
Yeah,
Gervais
go ahead.
Show.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I just all the little bits, like Carl's Diary or Monkey News, right? Cheeky Freak of the Week, things like that. I'm not sure if Cheeky Freak was in the show though. I think that might have been XFM, but either way, yeah, there's just so many great little memorable moments. But what I know of it, Carl, his stories may seem outrageous, but they have some truth behind them, and a lot of it's apparently, like his upbringing. He brings it out, all the the people that he's seen growing up in his areas he grew up in, because they weren't exactly the greatest places.
Scruffy Sandra.
Yeah, Scruffy Sandra. Yeah.
I love I love hearing about Carl's upbringing, his mom and dad, his auntie, what's her name? Nora?
Auntie Nora.
Auntie Nora.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah, there's so many Monkey News and Diary, right? I mean, if I can't really think of,
right.
Diary, I think it was a diary, or maybe it was just him talking,
Mm-hmm.
where he's talking about the guy went to a doctor and found out he had cancer. And so he goes and he's like, he's not allowed to eat meat anymore. And he's like, oh, I hate that. I love meat, and his wife feels sorry for him. She's like, oh, I'm just going to get him some meat. Poor guy. And gets him some meat. And he's like, oh, thanks for that. Cheers for that. I love that. And he goes to eat meat, and the cancer pops out of his mouth. And
right. Yeah.
What? The cancer popped out. What are you talking about? The cancer popped out.
Yeah.
Not what are you? You're getting your science from aliens, and it's just like, and the animations to go along with the conversation are fucking hilarious. It's so good. There's so many little things like that. It's so, his little poems, that he gives. I can't recommend it enough. The Ricky Gervais Show is I don't know if it's on HBO Max or anything like that. That's which I think is kind of upsetting. But you can pretty much watch all of them on YouTube for free. So
right, you can do that, or if you can't watch and you can only listen, you can hear them all on Spotify. Pretty much, I think all of them for free. So
fall asleep to that, still do.
Yeah.
They have like Rockbusters. That's also
good. Yeah, that's another great one. Rockbusters, yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
If you like the Ricky Gervais Show, I do recommend listening to more of the XFM, because there's more of that too. Because there's just endless material that you may have not heard yet.
Oh yeah.
So,
all right, I got two more shows here. Another one, again, it's related. The show, and I couldn't believe it, but I guess it did. It came out in 2010. The show, An Idiot Abroad. An Idiot Abroad.
Oh yeah, nice.
So, I know Brad's seen a couple episodes of that, but I don't think
a little bit of it.
Who Carl Pilkington was. So he just came across as this guy who hated the fact that he was anywhere. And which he kind of does. He's like, I don't get, why doesn't he love the fact that he's in the seeing Mount
right.
Fiji, all that stuff. But he's just complaining about everything. I would like this. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I get that. Yeah. But God, I love that. Oh, go ahead, Nick, if you've got something you want to. I mean,
An Idiot Abroad.
Yeah.
Is that the one where I think maybe it's somewhere in China, and he's watching a guy eat like an egg, but it's a fetus,
Yes. A fetus.
Yeah. And he's like, what's he eating? He's like, he can't even watch him eat it. He's like, it's a fetus. Yeah. Oh man.
And I was like that it was their cab driver, and he was like scarfing it down like
yeah.
He's like, what? Does he know it's not a race? And he's just like, oh my God. And he's like, I couldn't believe it. And he's like, what's he eating there? He's like, it's a delicacy.
I think he's like smiling at people, and he's like, does it work? It doesn't work. He's just trying to smile at people, so he gets no reaction.
I love the fact that he's in the market in somewhere in like Beijing or something like that. And he's looking at it. They've got like crickets, and they see like, all this thing, these bugs, and he's just like looking at it, and he's like, Jesus Christ. And he's like, what do they see? Like a spider in the kitchen. They think, oh, there's breakfast.
Right,
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
like there's a bunch of frogs in a bucket, and there's like a bunch of their innards in another in like a bag right next to it. He's like, is that supposed to entice people? Bring them in. They say, like, watching them just rip off a frog's legs and like shove the guts out, and he's like, here you go. Yeah. Fucking ridiculous. God, that it's his full thoughts on everything are hilarious because
Oh,
he's
yeah.
so uncultured. He doesn't know why anything is like Mexico is nowhere safe. You know, as he doesn't want to eat the worm, he chokes on the worm. He does. People are lighting off fireworks around, for this celebration, and he's scared to death. Oh fucking hell! It's so good. It's such a good, and like Idiot Abroad too, when he does like the Seven Wonders or whatever it is. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Probably my favorite travel show ever, honestly. I watched
Probably, yeah.
I just love that one more than any. I love it. So cannot recommend it enough. Both the Ricky Gervais show and Idiot Abroad, fantastic. And now my last pick for the top TV show of 2010. One of the top TV shows of the entire decade. From beginning to end, it's perfect. The show Boardwalk Empire debuted.
Oh, man.
Love this show. Everything about it is
It's
fantastic.
so good.
The sets, the acting, the dialogue, the music, the story, it all flows. It's all excellent. I can't recommend it enough. I don't think you've ever seen it, Brad, but I highly
No, I
recommend
never watched it.
Oh, man.
it. The first episode is directed by Martin Scorsese.
Ooh,
And,
okay.
I think Mark Wahlberg was an executive producer as well.
Yeah.
But Steve Buscemi's the main character, Nucky Thompson. It's based off of Prohibition era. Starts off in 1919, I believe, or maybe 1920.
Yeah,
And
right after the end of the First World War. So it's what was it, like 1917 or something like that?
Somewhere around there. I know it's right before
1918.
Prohibition gets kicked in, and they ban alcohol, and that's like the big thing, the big vote the first season.
Right.
But like literally from beginning to end, every character, there's a point. There's things that come back later that you're like, oh my god, that's that, and that's what. Oh my god, that makes it makes sense. It's not a stretch. There aren't plot armors necessarily. There's a few times, but it's not nearly as much as a lot of other shows that came in that decade. I think what's his name? Michael Pitt as I can't remember his name.
Tommy?
Not Tommy. Tommy's father. What was his name?
Tommy's father.
Yeah. Oh God, what's his name? I'm pretty sure Tommy was the kid, and
Yeah.
his father is the one that went to
Jimmy.
Yeah,
Jimmy.
it says James, Jimmy something.
It's Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy. Michael Pitt, fantastic in that show. There's a lot of people that show up that you see later on that made it onto other HBO shows.
TV.
Big
Yeah,
MTV.
Boardwalk Empire on MTV.
Absolutely. A lot of HBO shows that came after. Michael Shannon is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love him. He's one of my favorite characters. Agent was it Nelson, or I can't remember. It's just so fucking funny and crazy, and just he becomes
Van Alden, Nelson Van Alden.
Yeah, Brad, if you watch this show, he will be your favorite. Guarantee it. I'm calling it now. He would be
Right.
your absolute favorite character in the entire show. He's great. And it's got historical accuracies within it too. Not all completely, but yeah, Nucky Thompson did exist. They've got Al Capone in the show. They've got it all based off. It's a historical drama with a lot of twists and turns. It's a really good show. I cannot recommend it enough. Yeah, Boardwalk Empire. I don't want to give away too much, but I mean, it just gets better with each season. There are no lacks in the show from beginning to end. Fantastic. All right, the top 10 TV shows of basic TV in 2010. If you can't tell that the end is nigh with this list and the music list, you'll get a better idea of what I'm talking about here. The number one show in all of TV in 2010. Any guesses? It basically was the number one show of all of the 2000s.
The Cosby Show.
Not the,
No, his reign of terror had ended.
yes. Any guess? It was on Fox. It was a voting show. It was
American Idol.
It was American Idol. The Wednesday show of American Idol was number 1. Why do I mention Wednesday? Dancing with the Stars is number 2. American Idol, the Thursday show, is number 3. Those are your top 3 shows in American basic television. American Idol Wednesday, Dancing with the Stars, American Idol Thursday. That's it. Number 4, Sunday Night Football. Number 5, NCIS. Number 6, Dancing with the Stars, Results. Number 7, NCIS, Los Angeles.
Jesus Christ.
8, The Mentalist, whatever the fuck that is. 9, Body of Proof. 10, Criminal Minds. Where's 60 Minutes? You know?
I miss 60 Minutes.
Right?
Yeah.
Sitcom. Where's anything?
It's all American Idol and Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
Multiple times.
The results. The fucking results.
People really tune in for those results.
I think that's what Thursday is too. American Idol Thursday is the results of Wednesday. I don't.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it's not even Monday Night Football. It's Sunday Night Football because I think Monday Night Football went to ESPN, so it's no longer on basic. Yeah.
We're only on 2010, guys.
This is 2010.
This is the first
Good
year.
Lord.
Oh no.
Worst. Okay, now speaking of worst, we got worst TV shows to debut in 2010. The show Sister Wives, which is a reality TV show based in Utah, where a guy has like 4 or 5 wives. It's all Mormon. The guy's an asshole, and it's just a lot of dysfunction.
Good Lord.
And yeah, it's all for Sister Wives.
It's awful.
Another reality TV show to debut in 2010 was also made my worst TV show list. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Another worst TV show of 2010. The TV show Melissa and Joey, Melissa Joan Hart and Joey Lawrence, the Blossom guy and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. They fixed
Joey Lawrence?
Joey Lawrence, yeah.
Joey Lawrence? You got a license? You got a car?
Bill Hicks.
Ridiculous.
I hate my fucking life. What am I doing?
This blood spilling peacock on the company man to the bitter end. Melissa and Joey, they tried it out, didn't work. Nobody was really interested in Melissa Joan Hart and Joey Lawrence in 2010. And the last worst TV show to debut in 2010, No Ordinary Family, starring Michael Chiklis. Love that Chiklis. The synopsis.
Does he beat his family or something?
Well, we'll see. The Powells are a typical American family living in Pacific Bay, California, whose members gain special powers after their plane crashes in the Amazon. No Ordinary Family. Now, if that doesn't sound a bit like The Incredibles in a way, you know?
Well, who's Michael Chiklis?
The Shield.
Oh, that doesn't help me.
Chiklis. He was the Thing in Fantastic Four.
Still doesn't help me, but okay. I appreciate the effort.
Yeah, Google search might help. He might have been an NYPD Blue, but I could be wrong. Or he was in another... Maybe it was The Shield. I think you said that right, Nick.
Yeah, he's like the poor man's like Hank Schrader.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah,
but that like the really poor.
Michael Chiklis. Oh God. All right, No Ordinary Family, one of the worst shows to debut in 2010, and that will do it for TV shows of 2010. And we will now move ahead now to the last section of the podcast here. Bringing it back here because, well, it's actually a significant amount and it's stuff to talk about. Fantastic. The video games of 2010. All right, and for the Wii on May 23rd, the video game Super Mario Galaxy was released on May 23rd. Considered one of the best I think Super Mario Galaxy 2 was better, but this one was definitely innovative, different, a welcome change.
I'm
I
not
think
sure if
prior
I've ever seen that game or played it, or
it's 3D in the same sense of like Mario 64
that's what
3D.
I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, and you
uses
can hop between planets and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I never played it, but I've seen footage.
This next game we're all going to talk about, so let's just get it over with here because it's a lot to talk about. Not like get over with one of my favorite games of all time, maybe the best sequel to any game ever. On January 26th for the Xbox 360 and the PC, Mass Effect 2 was released. Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
You never played Mass Effect 2, Brad? Or you didn't play it all the way?
I know I played the first one. Mass
Nick,
Effect
you played
2,
it.
though,
Well,
maybe.
This was actually the first Mass Effect game I ever played, and I actually didn't really like Mass Effect when I first played it. But it just grew on me, and I fell in love with it. But years later, like actually pretty recently, so it's like 11, 12 years later, I actually played the whole series again. I actually haven't beaten the series yet. I'm on the third game, like near the end, but the second game is awesome. Probably my favorite in the series so far, just because of how it ends and all the stuff that you got to do, and it's really, really good.
Yeah, I think the changes they made from the first to the second game, especially in terms of shooting, all that,
Yeah,
leagues better because it was an
right,
issue
for sure.
aiming, shooting, all that stuff. But in the second game, it was vastly improved. Way more stuff to work with. Going out and getting your crew together was fun, highly entertaining. Every mission was fun, exhilarating, and the choices that you get to make, you can way expanded greatly in that too. And the fact that it carried over your information from the first game to the second was so cool.
Right. Oh,
Character-
yeah, that was the best.
You see the same character in the second, so it really feels like your own guy. Other stories and other series where it moves from game 1 to 2, even if it's a game that you can create your own character.
Right.
Almost all the I can't think of another game where you got to keep the exact same character in every way, all the looks and everything. So I was able to do that. So I played with the same guy, and that's who I think of too when I play this game. Is I
Right.
just think of that character.
I remember my first character was actually really funny. He had like bright
is.
pink armor, and he had like this really bright blonde hair, and his name was it Shepherd.
Shepherd.
So yeah, they'd say Shepherd was my name. Be like, Shepherd.
It kind of reminded me of The Fifth Element, Chris Tucker.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Gonna look like that.
Yep.
Just the way that you can go about, and the suicide mission. If you haven't done everything correctly, if you do things horribly,
yeah.
you lose everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I actually lost quite a few people.
Yeah, and if you don't do certain things a certain way, if you do it, you can actually save everyone, or you can lose one, or you can.
Yeah,
lose
it's like everyone's story. You got to do like everyone's story or something, I think.
Yeah, and there's
like
one
everyone's backstory.
I just failed. I failed it every time I've tried.
Yeah.
But so good. It's such a fantastic game. The story's great. The voice acting is great. The alien sex scenes are great. So good. A massive improvement from the first game, and the first game is phenomenal too. So, when Mass Effect 3 gets around, it's going to be great, right? Well, we'll see. So, but Mass Effect 2, I think maybe one of the best, if not the best, sequel to any game, especially in a trilogy series. It's the Empire Strikes Back of Mass Effect, So, all right, we'll move on now to another game that was released on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 on May 18th. The game Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption was released on May 18th. I did not play this one nearly as much as I played Red Dead Redemption 2, mostly because I didn't have a copy of the game, I think, at the time, or my Xbox 360 wasn't working. Or no, Yeah, I just didn't have it. I don't know. I never bought it, and I borrowed it from somebody, and he took it back before I finished the game. But I remember playing cards a lot and trying to cheat, and it not working out because it was really difficult. But I thought it was a really neat game. I thought it was really cool. Did you ever play it, Nick?
No, I remember watching you play it though.
Yeah, I was at my duplex.
Yeah.
Brad, did you ever play it?
No, I didn't. But I was obsessed with Red Dead 2.
Oh yeah, I love. Well, we'll get to that game. We'll get to that.
We will get to that.
All right, another game that was released on the PC on July 27th, StarCraft 2: Wings of Liberty.
Oh,
was
nice.
Nick, I figured you could talk about this.
Well, yeah. StarCraft 2. I mean, it's just a really great RTS online game, like real time strategy. Just basically like your common base builder and you build order type game where you plan out and you scout your enemy, you find out what they're doing, then you kind of counteract what they're doing. It's just like it gets really intense. It's a lot of fun. I still play it to this day. I still have some friend, Baller, who's been on this podcast. He plays. I've mentioned Tim Nelson before. He plays. But yeah, it's a great game. It's always something that I can get back into. It's actually, if I'm correct on this, I think it's actually considered a sport in South Korea. Like it's highly valued in South Korea, like like how we like NFL and or like football, and how Canadians like hockey, that sort of thing.
Right.
It's like highly regarded as the best.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's a great game. If you haven't played it, highly recommend it, especially if you like games like Command and Conquer, if you're familiar with that, or even maybe Halo Wars. It might be more something that, yeah.
Brad, did you ever play StarCraft 2?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I haven't really played it either. So I figured I'd put it down there next. Nick will help out. All right. On October 26th for the Xbox 360, the Wii, and the PlayStation 3, Rock Band 3 came out. That was still going, although it was, I think at that point, it had been fading out of popularity, those types of games, at this point. Had been going on for a good 5 years.
They were fun, though.
Oh, they were, for sure.
I always like the drums.
Yeah, they were. I like to do in the vocals because you don't have to even say the words. You just have to hit the note.
Oh, right, yeah. You just have to, have the right pitch.
Yeah, so you just like, and it would work. You'd get 100%. And one time it was Nick. We might actually have been playing Rock Band 3, actually. It was Nick, me, and a buddy of ours were playing something like that. And I was the vocalist. And that's what I did. And I was oh, go on.
Yeah, what's that, like New Year's Eve or something?
Yeah,
we were celebrating New Year's Eve with like our friend we call Batman.
Yes,
We've
that guy
mentioned him before.
Yeah, 1989 actually.
1989, yeah. Yeah, we had this ridiculous band. Again, all of our characters looked fucking ridiculous. Yeah.
Blue hair, blue eyebrows. Something
Right.
like that.
Right.
Monet.
Yeah.
Money. Yeah, just ridiculous. That's what we did.
Yeah.
All right. On March 16th for the PlayStation 3, God of War 3 came out. I didn't own a PlayStation 3, so I never played really anything on it. So I never played God of War 3, but I heard good things about God of War. On June 10th for the Wii, Xenoblade Chronicles came out. On April 27th for the PlayStation 3, Super Street Fighter 4 was released. A huge one here. We'll do a couple. Okay, so on July 21st for the Xbox 360, the game Limbo was released. That's a fun game. Nice little indie game.
Was that far long ago? Wow.
Yeah.
Limbo. I don't think I've ever played that.
Yeah, it's a pretty... It's like a side-scrolling puzzle solving, but really, it's black and white, really dark. Dark themes and whatnot.
Okay.
Pretty good. Yeah. I really enjoyed that game.
It is. I recommend it. It's fun. Can be kind of frustrating, but you get over it. All right. Two more games left here. I'm debating which one to. Let's do this one first. For the PC, on December 7th, 2010, the video game or the expansion Cataclysm for the game World of Warcraft was released. Nick?
Oh boy, yeah,
Yep, that's all you, man.
It's the I had to say, out of all of the expansions, it's the one that I cared for the least, and that's generally the opinion throughout the community. Is that Cataclysm is the the one not liked the most. However, you never know. If and when they come out with a classic Cataclysm, which I'm sure they will once Lich King is up, which it will be soon. If they do come out with it, I'll give it a try. I'll see, and I'll see if it was just as bad as we remembered. It was regarded that way a lot of because like the original like Kalimdor in the Eastern Kingdoms, basically Azeroth, the planet in which all the players live on, was completely destroyed, like in a lot of ways, to where I won't give it away too much, but a lot of things were different, and a lot of people didn't like it, right? And a lot of things, and just like every other expansion, a lot of things were changed in where people didn't care for it as well. And it seemed at that time people thought maybe WoW was going in a direction that wasn't exactly what the player base wanted, and it kind of went on that trajectory, and yeah, it got a little better. Not the expansion, but the when they came out with more afterwards. So yeah,
right on. I think I played for Wrath of the Lich King, and didn't play for Cataclysm. I played a little. I think at that point that it had been out for a little bit when I jumped back on, but at that point I was just being run through dungeons and shit. All right, the last game I'm going to mention for 2010, pretty good game, I have to say. I enjoyed it a lot. I love the multiplayer. Played the hell out of it. For the Xbox 360 on September 14th, 2010, the game Halo Reach was released. Halo Reach.
Nice.
The game where you could finally run, sprint, if you wanted to have that bonus special ability. Use your jetpack if you'd like. I know that one. There was a stealth one too where you could turn invisible, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one with like a quick move left to right, I think, or something like that. I can't remember. Maybe no, I think it was a shield.
It was a shield that you just like slam down on the ground and it covers you in like the shield, and then you can break it and break other people's shields near you. Or if they try to punch you, it breaks their shield as well. But it's great. You could do it if someone throws a grenade and stuff. But yeah, I remember Batman again. He had the beta for this, and I went over to his house like every day, and we both played the beta for Halo Reach online. And the jetpack, we remember, was the most OP.
Oh yeah,
because you could just sit up top, no one's looking up, and you're just shooting people.
God. Did you ever play that game, Brad? Halo Reach?
No, I stopped at 3. Or actually, I only played 3, really.
Which one did you play? The duplex? Was it 3? Or was that... No, it had to have been 3 because Reach released on September 14th and I was already... I think? Or maybe no. Maybe I had it.
Fuck. Yeah, it was it was like you, me, and Timmy against each other, sort of thing.
Well, yeah, I think it was you and Timmy versus me for some reason. Because I remember being really frustrated.
Oh yeah, you got pissed off. That may have been Reach. If it was, that was the only time I ever played it.
Right. It might have been 3, but yeah. It's still a good time. But Halo Reach, I remember I played that shit ton. And that was like my favorite first-person shooter until I finally played Battlefield 3, which maybe came out next year. I don't know. I could be wrong. But Halo Reach, I loved all the little extra things they did about it. I played the hell the firefights, using the jetpack to get to strange areas where no one would think to look for you.
Mm-hmm.
People off with a sniper rifle. I loved it. A lot of fun. A lot of good times on it. Some bad times, mostly involving bread. All right. Okay. To the worst video game of 2010. And the worst video game 2010. Again, I love this is so much easier with video games. Man, and there's a lot to talk about almost. There's always something that comes out so much easier than the early 90s and oh god, the 80s was brutal. But here we go. It's also nice too the way I get the information for this. It's all there for me. And there's not a lot for 80s. I really have to do some digging. But for the worst video game of 2010, the Xbox 360 Kinect required game came out on November 4th. The game Fighters Uncaged. Couldn't be more caged. Fighters Uncaged is a fighting game for the Xbox 360 Kinect system. It was developed by AMA Studios and published by Ubisoft in November of 2010. Fighters Uncaged was one of the first 12 games released for the Kinect. The game has the player control Simon, a man who is attempting to win an illegal fighting tournament to help get his father out of trouble with a crime lord. It has one game mode and features many different fighting moves and different settings and opponents. Simon is able to get up in leagues by obtaining certain number of points, which in turn unlock more scenarios and opponents. The game features one game mode called Fight, which is only accessible after completing the tutorial. Fighters Uncaged is played in an over-the-shoulder perspective, with the opponent being on the opposite side. Simon is able to do a range of different actions, including short and long punches, kicks, blocks, dodges, and headbutts. The player can execute special moves via shouting in the direction of the Kinect once the corresponding bar is full. Could you imagine that? The tutorial was criticized by reviewers for different reasons. Tom Hoggins of the Daily Telegraph described the tutorial as being mind-numbing. David Jenkins of Metro wrote that the tutorial was the most notable part of the game, though ultimately non-essential. He wrote that because of its length, it may have been an attempt to protect the player from the awful reality of the real game. Ellie Gibson of Eurogamer described it as being the most boring tutorial sequence in the history of the world. Jasmine Smith of Videogamer.com criticized the tutorial for insisting on explaining each and every move in the game before forcing you to repeat it 3 times. Critics believed that the motion control system in Fighters Uncaged did not work, and that the fighting mechanic was poorly made. Mark Walton of GameSpot wrote that he found it to be immensely frustrating, saying that the controls were simply broken. Smith compared the combat of the luck in rock, paper, scissors, noting that 90% of the time the attack will be avoided or blocked, while for the other 10% the character just stands there like a lemon, refusing to acknowledge the command. Jack DeVries thought that when in a fight, the moves became a series of desperate flails in attempts for the game to notice the player's action. The visuals were disliked by reviewers, with Smith saying the game was plagued with bizarre design choices and lackluster visuals, and attributed this to the rush of the development. Walton wrote that the game was a good example for how not to make fighting games for the Kinect, continuing on to say that the presentation was subpar. Gibson believed that everything about this game is incorrect. She said that her enthusiasm for the game diminished with the intro movie and criticized the static images of ugly men with stupid names rolling across the screen. DeVries described the game as being rushed, hence, and static with unflattering visuals. And that will do it. That is the worst video game of 2010. Fighters Uncaged. And that will do it for the year of 2010. Yay!
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that was actually longer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, we actually did pretty good there.
We did all right. I was worried. I was worried I bit off more than I could chew. There isn't a lot of 2010's reviews. It's probably too soon for a lot of people, but I don't care. I figured people whose memories are such shit. Nobody remembers what happened last year, let alone 13 years ago. And by the time we get out of this, it'll be 2024, so 14 years. So yeah. All right, thank you guys. Thank you. Anything you want to add? Go free. If not, we'll.
2010, never again.
Never again. Absolutely. This is one of those. Do the glasses again. You could do the zeros.
That's right. Yeah.
The 2, the O, the 1 in the middle, and then the O again.
Yeah. Well, it's actually a 0. No, but yeah.
Well, you know what I mean.
Oh, gotcha.
I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Goddamn semantics.
All right, here we go. And with that, I hope you enjoyed listening to our conversation, and will join us again for another installment of History with Hersefat. Don't forget to hydrate, exercise, and to like and subscribe to the podcast. All these things are essential for your health and well-being. Take care of yourselves and each other.
If I could write you a song to make you fall in love, I would already have you up under my arm. I used up all of my tricks. I hope that you like this, but you probably won't. You think you're cooler than me. I'ma be It's like SSO.